And we are live.
Hey, yo. Welcome to the wonderful world of Hungry Heat. I'm not a classically trained chef. What I am is a self-taught home cook. I've studied under several television chefs. I have a PhD from YouTube University and a black belt in Google Food. I love to cook. The only thing I love more cooking is my wife, the sensational Shelly Eats Steak, a.k.a. The Warden. Together we host what we like to call the Friday Night Feast. On the time, it's every Friday night, 6:30 Central. We'll cook up an entree, maybe a couple of snacks, show you how to do it, and then we'll spend the rest of the evening just chewing the fat with all the friends of the Hungry Horde. And then here recently we decided we're going to start doing my MS Journey live on Sundays.
Yeah.
And I'm actually in the middle of cooking right now, too. I have a fatty on the barbecue pit right now. It's in the smoker. We just glazed it and put it back in. And I was in Keto Simple's live this morning, and I told several people if they tuned in, they could watch me doing my supplements. So here in a second, I'm going to start building this.
Well, a couple things before we get too far into that. So I know a few of you asked about the fatty. So he has been recording. It's going to be a little bit of a different style.
Yeah.
So you'll have to see. Let us know if you like it.
One, we turned off the ring. You see it? The light's not on.
Well, because when I turned it on, it kind of gave it glare.
Well, and also I didn't realize she wanted me to do an actual video. I knew she wanted me to do a short on it, so that's why I recorded. So she said we'll just release it as both.
Well, it's kind of a longer short because he's showing the whole step. So it'll kind of be done like that, y'all. So you'll just have to let us know how you like it. But at least you'll have all of the steps. But we just won't be narrating every step of the way. You'll just be watching us do it. So you have to let us know what you think. And then I did a short on the keto chow fudge. So be looking for that short to come out. I might do that one tonight, but that will then be showing like how we do the fudge, and you'll get to see the flavor that we chose for this week. And then, you also have a fudge a short for the cabbage.
Yes.
He did a smoked cabbage, y'all. So that'll be another little short coming out. And
because what we had done is we went ahead and did a little practice run for the recipe we're doing Friday night, and I used
we got a short on that too.
We're using part of that recipe on the cabbage.
Yeah, so this Friday, I think it's going to be really good. Yeah, it'll be busy, but so we filmed that as a short as well, just as a teaser. Those to me are like shorts. Like we don't show you the steps, we just show the end product. And so we'll probably release that short tomorrow night. And then it also gives me a chance to take a picture for my thumbnail. Yes. And we have a wonderful meal.
Yes.
So exciting. Well, welcome to Heath's MS Journey. We'll get started with a few comments. And then what is it you're doing right now?
I'm combining these two containers. I only have 5 or 6 out of this. So I'm opening a brand new one and using the old one as a trash can.
And how many is in each bottle?
420.
And how many do you take a day?
2.
You take 2 a day?
Yes.
So that would last 210 days, or what is that, roughly 7 months?
Yeah.
Am I doing that right? 6 times 3. Yeah, so about 7 months, give or take a few days. That's pretty good. Okay, so Lisa's here. El Strange said, getting some food prep done. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Yeah, I hope you had a great weekend too.
Another thing about that recipe we did last night too.
Yeah?
Originally, we were thinking about going out to eat. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, I really don't feel like going anywhere. I know she's not been feeling well. She's not going to want to go anywhere either. And honestly, the only places I really enjoy going to that don't use like such a vast amount of wonky ingredients are kind of high end.
Yeah.
Well, it's either high end or like places like McDonald's when I get just a burger.
Yeah, just a burger patty. Yeah. So honestly, we never do that because I'm always like, well, we could just go and buy a whole package of burger patties and just do it ourselves.
Right. The only time we ever really do it is when we're out, and that's the last resort.
Right.
But so I told her, I said, well, hey, check it out. Well, I know we're going to go a little off script, and we've been trying to be budget conscious, whatnot, with the our groceries. But if we buy XYZ, all the items, we're going to end up spending less money.
Yeah, and so stay tuned to my Warden report. I did do kind of a bougie grocery haul. So instead of a budget grocery, you can see a bougie grocery. Yes, I definitely splurged yesterday. So be looking for that video on Wednesday so you can see what all we got. And then that might even help you figure out what all we're doing Friday night.
Yeah.
And Tweety Q Cat's here. Hey, Liz. She goes,
hi.
hey, you guys. And I see Shauna's watching too. And Caden's here and said, hi, Shelly and Heat. So glad I caught the live. I'll be listening while I cook hubby's meal prep for the week.
What are you making?
Ooh. Yeah.
And we're always looking for ideas.
And then 22Q Cat said, hope it's been a good week for you, Heat.
Very good. Especially today. Now I get to hang out with all of y'all.
Aw. And Sharon's here and said, howdy, all. Hey, howdy. Sharon. And Mom Bear Lynette is here. Hey, Lynette said, hello, everyone. I'll be listening in because I'm currently draping sleeves for a wedding dress, so I'll not be able to look at the comments.
Right.
No, that requires probably 110% focus, right? And El Strange said, that's awesome, Shauna. We all need those rest days. Oh, I didn't see about a rest day. Max and I worked out at the gym. We need a rest day today, right? And here's a very important question.
What's this one?
That's your D3. So you take that once a week. Yeah. And now he has the prescription strength D3, which I think is 50,000.
Yeah, I can't read.
Yeah, 50,000 UIs, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to hand it to.
IUs.
Yeah.
And so he just takes one of those a week. Now I have the non-prescription one, which is a 10,000. I take one a day.
And this guy here, this was a lifesaver, honestly. I'm a godsend or whatever, because this is my Abagio, my generic Abagio.
Yes, but that's MS not pills. A supplement.
Right. This is what I take every day, though, for my MS. But the great part about this is from Mark Cuban's Goode RX.
Yeah.
And I got a tremendous deal. Fill them in. Yeah,
so we saved a lot because Abagio, I think, was $3,500 a month. Thankfully, the MS 1-to-1 had always helped pay for that for us because otherwise, who can afford that?
Right.
And then when they were no longer going to support paying for Abagio because they said there's a generic, we were real hesitant about going with the generic. But originally, it was looking like even through his insurance, it was still going to cost several $100s a month. Well, then we found out about Mark Cuban's Cost Plus pharmacy.
It's not Goode RX, my bad.
Yeah, not good. I did check on Goode RX, and they had some good options too. But Mark Cuban's Cost Plus pharmacy had even better. So we paid $35 for a 3-month supply.
This is the same thing. I just grabbed 2 of them because I didn't know how many were in this pill bottle.
Yeah. So I highly recommend, if you have any prescription medications, if you haven't already, check his site. And we did it. You can enter it in with insurance or without insurance. And it was actually cheaper without insurance, which I find out is actually becoming a common trend, that you can find better prescription prices without using your insurance when you go through like these third parties and stuff. So something to consider.
And then only reason why I'm taking this now, honestly, I'm waiting to see if it really helps me or not, is because we were gifted this bottle from, and we have a link if you want to order some as well. This is the salty supplements. What is it again?
That's your daily minerals in a pill form.
Yeah.
And now he's just taking 1 a day. Yeah. I know it recommends, I think, 1 to 6 a day or 1 to 8 a day. So that awesome. Is, yeah. And
not just enough.
And he's just been doing 1 a day, but I feel like if he feels like
I'm sluggish.
No, what I was going to say is if he feels like it's not really, he's not noticing a difference, I would probably up it to 2 a day. Okay. And then we could see it slowly increase from there. Because one time when he was taking liver, he was taking, which isn't that what you
That's
just?
what I'm doing right
yeah, your organ meats. When he first started doing the liver, he was taking too much, and his skin started to crack, which is a sign of too much liver. And so we cut back, and the bottom of his feet is where it was cracking. And once we backed down on that, then he was fine. And that's where we found out you just need to take one of the organ or liver supplements a day.
Right.
And then
I also take, this is a Mega Red. It says it's a superior omega-3 krill oil, and then by our number one groupie, Renee. And this is for my restless leg syndrome. I have it out right now, just I'm going to show y'all. But I usually only take one a day, but I usually take it in the evening right before I go to bed.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I have it out. But I'm going to put this back up here in a little while.
Yeah. And you just take one of those every night, right?
And like I said, I usually leave that on the nightstand.
Right. And we'll probably have to increase to 2 because it seemed like at first I was seeing a difference, and now your legs are back to jumping all over the place.
And then I have not taken my pills today, so I was just going to show you. I waited so I could show y'all, but I'm going to take them right now, and I just take them a handful of them. Take them all at once.
I can't dry mouth pills, y'all. Like, I always have to take a swallow, and while I have the liquid, then I take the pills. Of course, I'm not taking, a handful of pills. Usually, if I do a supplement, it's just one pill, and that's my D3K2, and I just take that and swallow with liquid. I don't like the taste of pills or capsules in my mouth when it's dry.
And this pill bottle or tray or whatever, I just keep it on my desk there in the living room, right next to my laptop.
Yes, so he'll remember. So here's a very important question. I know a couple people asked. Caden wants to know, what is a fatty?
Okay.
And stay tuned because you'll get to see it live.
Again, this is like it is with my ABTs. It's not something I came up with the name of. It's just something I found online one day. I used to be really heavily into a bunch of barbecue Facebook groups. It's basically just a bacon wrapped meatloaf. And you make a weave out of the bacon, and then you place down your hamburger meat or whatever, ground sausage, whatever you want to use. You put it all down, you put any stuffing you want to put in it, and you wrap it up in the bacon, throw it on and smoke it. That's it. I think they do it because it sounds like, kind of naughty or whatever. You're smoking a fatty.
Right. Well, and I think because it is a fatty, with all of the bacon. That was like almost a pound of bacon you put around it.
Yeah. And we used like I said, 80-20 ground beef.
Yeah.
But I honestly didn't measure anything. We had an open package of bacon. I think it ended up using, I don't know how many pieces. How many do we have left? Do you imagine?
I know
12, but I don't remember how many were in the package to begin with.
So it would have been 16 because it's like almost a pound. Well, the bacon itself was a pound, and we took a couple out last night.
Yeah, I know. But how many do you think? 4, 5?
No, only 4 last night.
I used the rest of that package. I thawed out another brand new package, but we haven't touched it yet. I finished off the one we had, the open package we had last night.
Yeah. So that's why I say almost a pound, probably about 12 ounces.
And then I didn't measure the hamburger meat I added. I just watered it up, formed it up and put it in place.
Yeah, but you'll see it today. Yeah. He's going to, it's actually it's glazed, so it's letting the glaze sit, and then you'll see it here on the live in a minute.
That's actually going to be my lunch.
Yes.
Because then we also had about a quarter of a cabbage that we also used some chili lime butter sauce on, and I smoked that too.
Yeah.
And then I added more butter as well.
Yeah.
What about a quarter? Not even a quarter of how much was left in that thing?
I don't remember.
A stick of butter. We had a partial.
Lots happened since last night.
A little bit small portion of stick of butter left over. I just grabbed and threw it in there too.
Elstray said, "Yeah, my ADD brain really likes shorts."
Oh, nice.
Right, I do enjoy the shorts. Elstray said, "Smoked cabbage, yum." Yeah. He just took. We had about a fourth of a head of cabbage left, and that's what he smoked.
We took part of it and made some coleslaw, and we're actually debating whether or not we want to take the rest of it and make like a bigger batch of coleslaw. And I said, you know what though? I'm gonna have the pit going. Why not go ahead and throw it in there too?
Yeah, and smoke it.
And then for a bonus, also, I didn't film it, but I'm gonna tell y'all about it. You'll see it in my MS journey next week on my food. I took the rest because it was a 3-pound block of hamburger meat, right? A log. I took the rest of it and spread it out onto a skillet and smoked that. And this evening, I'm gonna take that and turn it into a pizza.
Wow, you're just smoking crazy.
Right. So
Terry's here. Hey,
also,
Terry.
I'm gonna move this on. It's getting
Okay.
bothering me.
Hello, all in the horde. Let's find out what a fatty is. Well, I hope that answered your question. If y'all have any more, please let us know. Shauna said, hello, people. Just gave myself a jump. Don't back your chair over bubble wrap. Oh, right.
Surprise. Hey, throw me that empty container. Oh, you got to put a lid on it.
Well, when you throw this, throw it
Lisa said, I need to run by Sam's and grab some frozen burger patties. Those saved me throughout the week. I feel like cooking. I looked at some at Aldi yesterday. They had a bacon and cheese patty, and I thought, well, maybe I'll grab this, and that'd be, I thought about having that for lunch yesterday, but I had some wonky ingredients.
I always do that.
I'm like, why? It's just bacon and cheese and burger, but
That's all you need to add.
Yeah, but no. And I understand, the bacon with the cured part, but this was in addition to that. And I forget honestly what was in it, but I was just like, dang it. All I want, and I didn't want to buy just the plain burger patties. I wanted to be bougie.
Yeah, but you could dress them up once you get home, though.
Yeah, well, I ended up getting ham slices. So
that's good.
I love ham.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are good. Just getting those ready-made burgers, it just makes life simple on those days where you're just like, I just don't feel like anything.
We love getting those ones from HEB where they're already done up and when they usually catch them on sale when they're doing the discount on them.
Right? Sharon said, I've been sewing and made a new cover for the flat top. It's
That's
almost
awesome.
Finished. Wow, look at you. Way to go.
Pictures or it didn't happen. I want to see pictures of it in the group, please.
And then Tweet TQ Cat said, bougie grocery haul. I may just be jealous.
Right? She scored because honestly, I have a block. We had a 2-pound block of cheddar cheese that we were going to use for our recipe last night. She's like, well, I found this in the store. You want to use it instead? I said, yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, I had fun. I went to HEB and then, of course, I went to Aldi. But I had fun at HEB. So I found some good stuff. And I actually browsed HEB yesterday. I felt so fancy browsing the grocery store. And I was really excited. I told Lisa, but this HEB, so this is the bougie HEB I went to, right? It's not even 5 miles. It's just like around the corner.
Even their shopping carts are fancy.
Yes, the shopping carts has a place for your drink, and it has a place for that'll hold your phone upright so you can read your grocery list.
Yeah.
And but I brought my coffee mug yesterday, the one from my company, and it didn't fit in the holder. I was like, that's why I brought coffee with me, so I could drink coffee while I shop. Oh, and it has a coffee shop in the HEB too.
And that's the same one that has the bank also, right?
But a lot of them have banks.
But in the on that shopping cart, where you're it's the area where you can put your kid, it doesn't move, it doesn't fold up. It's fixed.
Yeah. But and I almost went to the coffee shop. I looked at their list and they only
roasters? In that district.
No, Trilogy Brewed, but they're right here in Old Town Spring.
Oh, that's where it is. Okay. Yeah.
And they do their own roasting and they kind of do the mythical theme. So they'll have like Dragon Slayer coffee, that kind of stuff. And then they'll have some of their names of coffee are like Valhalla or Morpheus, Persephone, and stuff like that. So it's fun, but not everything is sugar-free. I think that little one, because the big stores in Old Town Spring, this is just kind of their little side store. Satellite. I think they only have like 2 sugar-free flavors. So I don't know. I looked and I was like, I'm going to Dutch later. Just wait. So I didn't do it, but I should have. But then, and they have a whole little kitchen area. If you're familiar with HEB, a lot of them do this. They have a little cooking. They call it the cookie kitchen. And they have like 2 or 3 chefs that will prepare something and give out samples.
And of course, around the perimeter where they're set up is all the ingredients they're using, so they can sell it to you.
Well, yeah, and that's a lot of it's the more bougie ingredients. So I did get a bougie harissa yesterday.
Oh yeah.
But man, it was good.
And we used that last night, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we're going to use it again Friday.
Yes. And so it was really good. And then I just browsed around the whole store. They had like 2 people with alcohol dealers, sending out samples. I didn't get any of those, but I did sample. They had, when you walked into the produce, there's a person handing out just little strawberry and blackberry, and then they would put whipped cream on it if you wanted. And I was like, no, just the fruit. So that was a nice little treat. And then another one in the produce, right? Like they were getting them all lined up, and it's usually after 11. They had fresh made guacamole. And so I tried that. And what I thought was really cool is she said with the guacamole dip, she had my choice of either these wheat crackers, tortilla crackers, or a carrot, a little baby carrot. I was like, that's good because, and I told her, yeah, I have a wheat allergy, so I'll do the carrot. I thought that was a good, that they had those options, because a lot of times, it's like, no, here's your chip with the guac. And
right.
They let you pick what you want.
And then usually, too, by the time they get around to getting you one, they're stale.
Right, probably. So I just thought that put some, thought that whoever, was doing this, they were selling their avocados. They had their large avocados for like $1.58. So they were showing what to do with it. And I was like, that was a nice thing to do. Yeah. And then the cooking station, they were still cooking. And I was like, dang it. Because sometimes they will have like steelhead trout or, whatever meat or seafood is kind of the promotion of the week. They might have been doing something shrimp, because I got some jumbo shrimp for $4.97 a pound. I wouldn't call them jumbo though, y'all.
That's what they were labeled. But
they were labeled white jumbo, and I'm like, well,
I really think it would have been better.
Maybe they are jumbo for a white shrimp.
I think it would have been better. We got bigger ones, and we would have got the frozen ones. From Kroger.
Right, they weren't that big, but anyways, I bought them, but for $4.97 a pound.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's my bougie. I bought some bougie shrimp, but yeah, so and they had somebody else, I think they were doing queso or something. I don't know. They were still warming it up, but yeah. So it's fun. I didn't do the alcohol. I don't know. I'm just not into it anymore. So I just keep on walking, but I did browse the coffee aisle, and I got me a new coffee. So I was excited to try it. So yeah, I'll show you everything on the warden report. Lisa said,
who that?
Oh, Terry.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Sorry, she's asking. I'll reply to her later. Lisa said, does insurance not cover that MS medicine?
No.
So, yes.
Uh-huh.
If we went to like CVS, Mark Cuban doesn't accept our insurance. But if we went to CVS, then yes, but it's several $100s.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it. And that's what I was hearing on Clark Howard, is a lot of these like Good RX or Mark Cuban, and there's a couple others. I think Costco might have their own like discounted pharmacy.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, a lot of these discount pharmacies, you'll find out a lot of medications are cheaper without using your insurance. And somebody had wrote in and they said that when they went to use their insurance, it would have been like $200. And then when they said, oh, I don't have insurance, it only cost them $20.
So where's the disconnect on that? Well, something's going on.
It's, I forget what he explained, but basically like insurance, they're trying to push you away from actually using the insurance by instead you're going to these discount pharmacies. So, I mean, it works out for us because, I mean, $30, like 25, 30, something like that for a 3-month supply for that medication. And that is pretty cheap.
I used 1 month so far, and they already sent me a thing for to re-up.
Yeah. Oh, and Amazon Pharmacy also, you can use them. So check with them as well. Especially if you're a Prime member, Amazon Pharmacy gives discounts to Amazon Prime subscribers. So check their pharmacy, and you can load your insurance on them as well and compare and see what's better.
At Costco, aren't they the ones you checked with, and that's where you got your prescription for your glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was cheaper. Wasn't it doing it that way?
Yeah. Well, it was about the same. My insurance for my vision insurance is separate. So they just say, oh, we pay up to, I think, 130 for contacts.
I just realized, though.
What?
I pulled that cabbage and it's just sitting there while I'm waiting on that to glaze. I should have left that in there while we're
Well, go take it out in there.
No, I don't want more.
All right. Sharon said, I do the 5K D3, and right now I have to cut back with being outside so much. Doc said I'm in the very high range. Wow. See, I don't think last time I had it done, it's because what does Dr. Berry say? Like prefers over 50, and my D3 was still not over 50. But like Sharon, you're always outside. I'm just not an outdoorsy person.
Nope. I used to focus on outdoors and I like getting drunk on the porch. How much time left on that?
About 15 more minutes.
It's glazed enough. I'm gonna go get it.
Oh, okay.
I'm hungry.
Well, the bacon still looked like it should be crispier to me. Do you want to put it in a broiler, or do you want to turn up the thing real quick? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I can do that.
Do what?
I'm gonna put that on there. Also, I'll put it down below with the broiler on. That'll heat this up too.
Oh, okay. And then take your fatty out.
Yeah.
You don't want to broil your, I mean, not your fatty, your pizza.
Pizza.
So, yeah. Okay, yeah. But see, like for me, I'm just not outdoorsy. I think I'm just...
well, if we're doing that, go ahead and shut it down too.
Okay. I'm just a homebody, I guess.
Yeah.
I think maybe if the weather was cooler, I'd be more apt to be outdoors. But you know, those that live down here in the South, it's just
Satan's
too.
armpit.
Huh?
We live in Satan's armpit.
Yeah, it's too hot down here for me. It's too hot. Like today's a beautiful day.
Yes,
it's really nice and cool out. I think
it
it's
rained really bad last night.
Yeah, it's like 60s outside. Which this type of weather, I would definitely probably be. I say definitely, probably, but I would be more apt to be outside if it was cool like this every day. But once, you know, it gets to where it's 80s, I would say even when it's over 75 outside, I'm like, no, I'm not going to go outside and do stuff. And I don't like bugs. So I have to kind of keep taking the D3 because of that. You going to show them?
Yeah, I was trying to move this, slide that back over. I'm going to get this closer, like so.
Okay. Ooh. Here's this fatty, y'all. Ooh, look, you can see some of the cheese coming out.
But I'm gonna slip it into the broiler to brown that to crisp up the bacon a little more.
Yeah, crisp it up.
And what I've been doing, I have this little serving tray kind of thing. I just do a towel on it so I don't get all mucked up.
Lisa said, "What are your symptoms of the restless leg syndrome?"
My leg keeps moving.
Yeah, his legs just move. Even when he's sleeping, his leg will just jerk. He's just laying there. He's snoring, right? So he probably needs sleep.
You know what I never did though? I put the broiler on.
I know.
Oh well.
And his legs will just jerk. His foot will twitch and stuff, and yeah.
This is going
so, and I wonder if he's even getting good sleep because of it, because like he'll be asleep and then sometimes his leg really jerks and it'll be like, huh, and then he'll go back to sleep. So, and then during the day, he seems like he has to move his feet a lot.
Yeah. Ever since we had that wreck where she broke her wrist area on her arm, I've had a problem with my knee. Where if I sit too long in one area, I have to like almost stand up or stretch my leg out.
Mm. Kate said, bacon wrapped meatloaf sounds yummy, right? Sharon said, when it's done, but I need ideas for Sade to embroider on it. Huh? On your flat top?
Oh.
Huh.
Come fix you a plate.
Right? That's cute. This is hot stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I'm horrible at those things. Lisa said, I browsed HEB yesterday too. I went to an HEB that I normally don't like, but it's the closest. They had lots of cheese sales. The Kerrygold double or small packs for 90% off.
Awesome.
One of my favorite cheeses.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
2 minutes, you think?
Yeah, probably. Didn't check on it. What about the underside? Are you going to flip it? Toss it?
No.
Oh, okay.
That side's ugly, and I don't think it'll hold. Plus, I just glazed it, so it's just going to go everywhere.
Okay. Wow, what a deal.
That is.
I didn't see. I saw a couple like meats marked down 25%.
You know?
I think I'm good right now. But it's still like, I was like, well, it's not the best of deal. And I didn't want like more ground beef. I was like, we already have several packages of ground.
Yeah, we can never go wrong with ground beef.
But I was just like, no. And so I just focused on what we really wanted. El Strange said, insurance is ripping us off. Exactly. Shada said, laugh loud as close as I close my blinds because too sunny.
Yes.
Sharon said, I have to start now being outside so that I acclimate as it gets warmer.
Well, remember, I told you years ago, I used to live with, I rented a room from Shane and Polly.
Oh, yeah.
Their favorite thing to do every single day, especially on the weekends, they went around and opened every single blind in the house. So all the light in. I was like, man, wait, I'm crazy. I used to hide in my room and shut the door and the window.
I know. Yeah,
I like a dark house because it makes those TV look better.
Right? Yeah, that's probably smart though, to go out and slowly get used to it. I just I hate the heat.
Right.
I just hate it. I don't think I can get acclimated to it is my thing. But, you know, I worked with somebody and that's what she would do. She'd go out and it'd be like 95 degrees outside. She'd have her lunch. I'm like, oh.
But see, I can't do it. The heat really affects me bad. So bad we got rid of our hot tub because I couldn't use it anymore. So what's the point in having it?
Yeah, he does get overheated sometimes, you know, and so that's one thing.
I'm so glad I don't work outside anymore.
Right. It does help. And I think before your vitamin D was probably better because you were outside. Because I remember you used to have like, what do they call it? The trick or tan?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if it's done. Said, oh, yum. Okay. Why is it? There it goes. And she said, magnesium is what helps for restless legs. Well, see, he said he takes the magnesium malate, which is supposed to also be for nerves.
You don't want to eat though? I'll make it easier to carry this.
Oh, shoot.
This is like stuck. Well,
and he takes, you know, and then the daily mineral. I know there's not a whole lot just taking the one pill. And he takes Calm every night. Ooh, what do you think?
I'm loving it.
Okay. Ooh, that does look good. Wow. And y'all, just in a second, we're going to have to film this real quick to finish the short. Oh, what's up like that?
I got me some juggling over here because I also made a pot of tea. Brew or stewing or whatever you call it. Okay. Well, I don't think I need that. And then my cabbage. Cabbage bomb, I guess. This thing's bothering me. It's sticking out of the cabbage. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
So. I'm trying to see which angle is the best.
Seriously.
Oh, okay. A plate.
Yeah. I'm gonna need the plate.
So I'm thinking like I'm gonna film like this.
Okay.
And then so this is to finish the short, y'all. Then you're gonna cut it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Want to cut it in the center?
Okay, and then fold it open.
Yeah.
Well, let me do like this.
Let me get this out of the way.
All right, this live action short. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3.
Hold on. I'm just looking to see if these will open up wide enough.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
3, to get in position to cut it. Go.
I literally just threw all this together at the last minute.
Thank you all for your patience with that.
Now I'm going to slice some off for my lunch.
Oh, no Radical Geek coffee talk tonight.
Oh, really?
She said she's exhausted because she had the con yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I cut it all the way on the side.
Right? My Bear Lynette said, are you sure that's restless leg and that he's not experienced a myoclonic jerk?
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know what a myoclonic jerk is.
Did she just call me a jerk?
Yeah. But I don't know, because we were going by kind of what we had told Renee, and that's what she was saying, but I could look into that.
And I know my aunt has it really bad, so I just assumed that's what I had to do.
Yeah. And I think you talked to your doctor about it, didn't you?
No, not really. But I'm seeing him later in next month. Like, I think May 15th, I think it is, whatever Tuesday. There's one Tuesday next month. I'm going to see him.
All right.
I'll mention it then.
Are we going to do a short on this one too?
Might as well.
Oh, well, we already did the short showing it.
Yeah.
So that's good. We're good. Brenda F is here. Hey, Brenda. She goes, hi. Gosh, I hope I didn't miss y'all. Not at all.
You just started.
You're just in time. Shauna said, laugh aloud, I just took out more ground beef. I have a short week, Sunday through Wednesday nights, and I'm off for the weekend. Oh, how nice. Sharon said, found this saying, if you can't stand the heat, stay in the kitchen, right?
Stay in the kitchen?
Well, because remember, it's for the grill.
Yeah. Oh, right? You know what? I want a bigger piece. You know what? Okay. Yeah. Maybe not. Because I only did this for about 2 hours. Maybe this needs to go a little longer.
Oh, I would assume.
I want it to wilt a little bit more, but then again, I could always just slice it and finish it in a skillet. Just do it like a stir fry.
But isn't there a lot of butter in the bottom of that?
Yeah.
Just put those other slices in there, fold it up, and.
But I'm going to eat it. So I'm going to fold it up.
The whole thing?
All that I just put on my plate is what I'm going to eat.
Okay. Sure, dear.
This is going to be leftovers for later.
Okay.
That's warm.
Okay. Shauna said, so
this is my lunch.
I have ground beef, bacon, and chicken nuggets to get me through. Oh, that'll work out.
Borrow your phone real quick.
Oh?
Because this is going to my...
You need a picture?
Yeah. Or go ahead and take it for me, if you don't mind. For next week.
No.
Thank you, dear.
There.
So y'all get a preview for next week.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like that'll be perfect. And Radical Geek is here and says, hello. Hey, Matreya. And Ma Bear Lynette said, that fatty looks amazing. Thank you. And Radical Geek said, yeah, got to get labs to see what supplements to take or not take. Everyone is different. Right. And he did, a lot of those supplements are from when he went to the doctor. So like the doctor is the one who wrote the D3 for him and suggested the magnesium malate. And
the cabbage is good.
Oh, good. The only thing he didn't was the salty. And I mean, I don't see any harm in him taking that salty. Right. And yeah, he basically did recommend like a liver supplement to him. He was like, get this to get more B vitamins and stuff.
Right.
So
this is my neurologist who recommended all this.
Right. When he first went to him and got his blood work, and then he gets his blood work done, I think every year.
Yeah.
To check his D3 levels and stuff.
And just so they know, that's who I see for my MS.
Right. And yeah, we would, suggest that to anyone before you ever start, supplements, always get it checked and see, where you're at. Like Sharon, her doctor is checking her D3, so he knows where she's at on it. So
thank you for mentioning that, Miss Ray.
Yeah, and I think that's always good anytime, like we hear a lot of, take iodine or take D3 and K2. But yeah, before you start that, always get your blood work and see where you're at. You might not need to have that supplement, especially depending on what all you're eating. You might not need it. And then why spend the money on something you're already getting from your food, right?
And with these fatties, the possibilities are really endless. You can just fill them with whatever you want. I could have done like peppers and onions, jalapenos, different kinds of cheeses or whatever. I just grabbed something real quick, threw it together.
So you just did cheddar cheese.
Yeah. From that too.
And there's where Radical Geek said, no coffee talk tonight. I'm exhausted. Well, I hope you're resting now.
And the cabbage is fine.
Sharon said, this is like the Friday night feast. Now I'm hungry.
Uh-huh.
I'm fasting today. I can finally fast. So I'm going to start a fast. I'm going to try to go for a 3-day fast, y'all. So I ate last night, we had that nice dinner. So I'm fasting now, and we'll see how this goes. Mom Bear Lynette said, no, Heath, you are not a jerk. We all love you. He's just playing. Radical Geek said, yep, recovery is the plan. Definitely. You need that time to recover.
That means I can get you started on my show sooner tonight, too, then.
Right. That's true. Also channel members, I've started editing and writing the recipe cards for this month's cook along, which is next Saturday, the 27th. So please be looking for that email. I got to finish editing the video and doing the final touches on the recipe card. So hope to do that after the live today and get that all out to everyone. So please let me know if you're not getting the emails, because if you're not, I don't know, because I use Google Meets, and Google will just say that it was sent. So I don't know, in case you tell me, hey, I didn't get it.
Well, I'm really excited about that too. 1, that recipe is amazing. 2, we did that date by special request from Sean and Michelle, so they can tell us all about their trip to Ireland.
I know. I'm so excited. Yeah. So y'all will have to tune in for that.
Yeah, it's going to be, Because in the group, they've been posting pictures.
Yeah. It's been fun. Mary T. Hey. She goes, hi, all. Love these Sunday lives. Wish I wasn't so dang late. I was zooming with my buddies. That's okay. There's always the replay option, or do like El Strange, do 2 times speed, and then you can hear us really. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I've got the core still on this one.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. Mary said, I'm going to have some labs done to check my electrolytes. I've been feeling funky for weeks and had that bad episode. That's right. Yeah, definitely get that checked, or a full panel. I think that.
Whoa, whoops! Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. I'm sorry, it just scared me.
He hit me with the collie and these
cabbage.
With the cabbage core. And look, I just got these out of the washer. Now they're dirty again.
I'm sorry.
But so get like a full panel. I think that's usually Dr. Berry has like, here, this is everything you should have tested. So I would definitely do all of that, right? It's better to get the blood drawn once than to be like, well, electrolytes are fine. Let's try something else. You know what I mean?
You're already there, so go ahead and request all of it.
Yeah. Lisa said, you're so strong, Shelley. I don't think I can fast for 3 days, let alone when someone's eating right next to me.
I can't, I'll tell you that. And, she's a saint.
Oh.
She's Superwoman, because she'll even cook for me while she's fasting.
Right. I guess it doesn't. I know. I think Lynette asked before, but it just doesn't really bother me. I mean, sometimes it does, but like some things, I don't feel like I'm missing out. Like he loves a fatty. I like my bacon very crispy, so I'm just very picky.
Or she'll find the deals on the pork chops. She hates store-bought pork chops, so I get those.
Yeah, so he'll eat stuff like that, or Heath is very much like Mikey. He'll eat about anything. Well, sometimes you have like you're like, oh yeah, that sounds good to do this, this, and this,
And
and
you're like, nope.
yeah, and I'm just like,
Well,
well,
that's all you, buddy.
yeah. So maybe I'm just a lot pickier than Heath
Yep.
is. So no, it doesn't really. And today, y'all, this is really what the hardest part is I told him I would like to do a 3-day water fast. Oh, it's so hard not to have coffee. So I haven't had coffee yet today either. And so I'm just having water, sparkling water, regular water.
You sound so defeated. But remember, you chose to do this.
I know, but it's a good time, and I feel like this is like the optimum time according to Mindy Pels. So just trying to do, and hopefully this lingering head cold, like in my ears and stuff, I'm hoping that will help flush it out faster. So we'll see.
Good luck.
Mary T said, sorry, that word's supposed to say funky. Mary T said, did you send an email, Shelly? Not yet. By the end of today. So after this live, I've got to go finish editing the video and editing the recipe card. Like I did the general outline, but I got to go in and put like the actual
finishing touches.
Right, on the recipe card, like how many eggs did I use? And even though I kind of think I have it, I like to watch the video again to double check.
We call it a crusher or whatever.
Right, because sometimes I've been like, oh yeah, is that what I did? I don't remember that. But L Strange says, anyone fermented celery? I have some celery in the fridge, and I was going to ferment some cauliflower, and I thought I would throw some in there, but I don't want to ruin the cauliflower. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't do celery. I think it would keep it to stay crisper by doing that. Maybe do like little chunks of it. I mean, I'm always up for it. I say do it. Do it. I haven't done celery yet, but why not? That's my motto when it comes to ferment. Why not?
When you do a small jar as a test?
Yeah, you could, but if she's wanting to add it to cauliflower, I think if you like celery how it is, I would think it would still be good. TQ Cat said, if Heath was eating the keto chow fudge right beside you, the 3-day fast may need to be called off. Ha ha.
Oh,
I actually made
right before we went live. She actually made a batch. It's in the fridge right now.
So he will be getting to eat on that before, and we're doing the chocolate toffee. So yeah, he'll get to have some tonight, and I'll just watch him.
Or I'll come in here without you and do it.
Yeah. Well, I have to cut it all up into squares and finish the short for it anyways. Oh, yeah. So, oh well. But yeah, it really, I feel like the hardest part for me is coffee. I feel like on days I have my coffee, and when I'm fasting, it's good enough for me. Like, oh, having that nice cup of coffee, that's plenty for me. But this is the hard part, is just not having coffee because I really want it.
You want the coffee more than you want the food.
I really do. Is that bad? Does that mean I'm addicted to coffee? No. But yeah, that's that. It's like if I know I have my coffee, I do a little bit better. But I am trying to do the 3-day water fast. Mary, I'm sorry. I was seeing your name. Mindy Pels recommends, doing a water fast, for optimum immunity and everything. And so I was like, well, let me try. So we'll see. I might tomorrow, being Monday, I might be like, you know what? F this. We are having coffee now. I've got 24 hours. And I've done that before. I'll go 24 hours without coffee. And then the next day I'm like, no, it's time for coffee.
Pray for me, please.
Oh, whatever. You're so lucky. Mary T said, I've been watching Paul Saladino lately. He was saying grocery pork has high levels of linoleic acid from pork because of the feed. I eat a lot of pork. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I know. To me, it's a texture thing. I find that the pork, and I don't know if that acid does it, but it's just, to me, pork. Like, I love bacon and ham from a store. I'm okay with that. And pork butts I'm fine with.
Or ground pork you like.
Yeah, or ground pork. But it's like the pork chop to me has that mealy texture when you cook it. But I've noticed like when I get it from a farmer, it's more like a steak. So I don't know. But I will eat the tenderloins.
But we'll even take the loin and cut it into chops, and she doesn't like that either. Though.
I know. Just something about it's like when it's in the loin, it seems to, I guess, retain more of the moisture, and it's a little firmer. But in a chop, I'm just picky. And Mary T said, I have access to farm and do buy it, but when ribs are on sale, $10 a rack, I load up. Things that make you say, But what I want to know is, though, because that's a 12% difference, is that 12%, though, is that even really significant in the grand scheme of things? Just because sometimes I hear them, where they're like, oh, you got to have liver, you got to do this. And it's because, well, they're already at 98% health and they're trying to get as close to 100%.
Right.
And I've said this before, hey, I feel like I am 50% healthier than I was pre-keto. So even if we just maintain what we're eating, I'm fine with that. I don't need to get down into the weeds of, I can only have Panda Massage food now because of this one thing here. Like, I think overall, like our chances of cancer and heart disease and diabetes and so forth, and liver and all those different things that a lot of people who eat the standard American diet, I feel like already our chances or odds of having that are significantly lower. I'm not going to say without, because obviously we had 40 years of eating crap, but I think it's significantly lower. And hopefully as time goes on, 5 years keto, we're healing a bunch of that. And that's also a reason I fast, y'all, is just for, I'm going to do something crazy. But a lot of it is for healing my body for the damage I did for 40 years, right? So I feel like my body still needs a lot of healing. And when I do these longer fasts, I really feel like it helps my body heal better. And I feel like, it does also help with the skin, so I don't have a whole lot of, extra skin. Because if I ever do lose like all of my weight, can you imagine how much extra skin I will have? So I think for me, doing it slower, where I'm not drastically losing weight, I'm losing weight at a slower pace, and I'm doing these fastings to help with that. I mean, that's what Jason Fung has shown in his research is, when he has these severely obese patients and they do regular, consistent fasting, their amount of loose skin is drastically lower.
Right.
So that's another reason I do the fasting, is for that and for healing my body. Because, I was a wreck before keto. I had, of course I have sleep apnea, but I had ulcerative colitis, which is very damaging to the gut and the intestines. And I had, diabetes and stuff. So that wrecked, my kidneys and liver. So I feel like by doing these fastings, it's helping with slowly healing. It'd be nice if I could eventually like reverse all of the damage I did to my body. But I feel like doing that does help, fix things or repair things as needed.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm just love it.
Brenda S. said, I've tried the fudge twice, just not working for me. Is it the chocolate? Because I know like some people have said that the lilies bothers them. And I was thinking about that because, there are some completely sugar-free chocolates. Like you get 100% dark chocolate. And I was wondering of maybe trying the Keto Chow fudge with not lilies, but an actual 100% dark chocolate, because I find Keto Chow very sweet.
Yeah.
So I think if we, you don't have to have the sweet chips. So I was going to try doing it with the 100% dark chocolate. So there's no sweetener at all. and then add in the keto chow and see how that works.
Where are you going to get the chips or bar? And just melt the bar down.
It's usually the bar is all that's available at 100%. But I was thinking of doing the 100%, and then that way we could test it out. So those of you who cannot have the lilies because of their ingredients, maybe see how it works by using the 100%.
I was going to say Saturday. No, we're already busy Saturday.
Sharon said, pulled my carrot and dill sauerkraut yesterday after a 3-week ferment. It tastes so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yum.
That's also why you started doing all the fermented foods to help you with your gut health.
Right, exactly.
And I'm noticing it's helping me with mine, too.
Yeah, I think so. Mary T said, apparently the linoleic acid is the same as you get from seed oils. That said, Paul Saladino is a freak of nature. He's one of those looking for that 100% and he's close, but most of us can't do that. Right, exactly. That's why, again.
And he needs content for his channel, too, I'm thinking.
But my thing, like you said, from 17 to 5%, and then I bet it varies depending on the brand of pork you get and where that pork comes from. And so it's not like you're getting 0% of that acid. So that's what I'm like, well, is that really the difference? Like, is that really what's going to, I guess my thing would be, what is your ROI on it? What is your return of the investment? Because like you said, when you can get racks of ribs for $10 versus the farmer where they're $20, $30, it's like, okay, by me spending double or triple on this meat, is it really going to impact my health by that much?
That's the other pork you like. You like ribs.
Yeah, I do like ribs. Sharon said, 42-hour fast are about my limit. I get too cold when fasting, but yes, I do feel much better after a fast. Yeah, I do notice I do get cooler, which is perfect with it warming up right now, right? Because then I don't have to turn the AC down as much. But yeah, I will get a little chilly. I've noticed on those days, you know, I'll have to turn like my little space heater on or wear like my slippers or pants or whatever. But it does help. And 42 hours is amazing. You know, when you that's I think anytime you can get above 24, I think you can really do a lot of good for your body.
Not the kid. Can't do it.
But, you know, yeah, any amount is always good. But yeah, I think if anytime you get over 24, I think that's really good. And I think even Dr. Funk suggests 36 hours. And I know a lot of people do the alternate day fasting where they'll fast 36 hours, feast for 12, and then they just keep doing that back to back. And I've thought about doing that. The only problem is, you know, when we're doing our lives and our, you know, cook logs or recipe videos, it's harder to plan that just right. So I ends up like, this is perfect for me to fast, you know, from Saturday night until like Tuesday night, because Sundays, I don't know. Usually I sleep really late because I slept till 11:30 today. And so it's like a half day, right? And so Sundays aren't that bad. And usually at work, Monday and Tuesdays are typically our busiest day. So I'm so busy at work, I don't even notice. So it goes a lot faster. And so.
Whereas I'm sitting there watching the clock, waiting to go to lunch.
Right. And so, yeah. And so it seems to go a lot faster doing those days. And then I'll sometimes do like a Wednesday fast or a Thursday fast. But then it seems like, you know, Friday and Saturdays, we're always like doing, you know, we have the live, and then Saturdays is usually we'll record something, you know, so it's harder to fast on those 2 days. Right. Mary T said, you are a poster child for a and proving food is what is making us sick. I tell people about you both all the time.
Oh, thank you.
You are my heroes. Oh, Mary T, that's so sweet. Thank you. That's really nice that you said that. Sometimes I don't feel like the poster child. Sometimes I feel like people think I'm the failed keto.
Or that one time, or the first year we went to KetoCon.
Yeah.
They came out and told her, hey, have you tried keto yet?
Yeah, well, when you want to try keto, so,
She's like, look, I already been keto 3 years. What are you talking about?
I know, and sometimes I do feel like that affects the channel, y'all, because I think, and I know that's how basically society, they want, a skinny person, a skinny, young, attractive person, right? Because if you look at a lot of channels that are very popular, well, guess what? They're young and they're skinny. And then they'll say, oh, look, because I like low carb love, like, is she even 30 yet? She's young. And there's a few others I've noticed, and I'm like, yeah, these are people who all started before they were 30, and they're all skinny, like really skinny, like a lot of typical 20-year-olds, right, that you picture. So sometimes I think that does affect us because, oh, hey, we're keto, and they're like, yeah, but you're still fat, so I don't want to watch you. That's how it feels. But thank you for saying that. Oh, oops, I missed this. Brenda said, I tried the white chocolate and the milk chocolate. Will not set up.
Oh, wow.
And now the recipe that I use for keto chow, it's 8 ounces of the chips, 1 ounce of butter, which is 2 tablespoons of butter, and then 1 package of the keto chow. Maybe I'll be putting that short out. I'm going to try to do that short tonight. So watch, because I'm showing the little steps real quick. So watch and see if that helps at all. But that's all I do. And usually what I do is I put my 1/4 of a cup of heavy cream. I actually do a little bit over, right? Like here's the line. I do a little above the line. And I add 1 tablespoon of butter, add my 8 ounces of chips, then 1 tablespoon of butter on top, put it in the microwave 1 minute, pull it out, stir it up really well. Sometimes, depending on the chips, sometimes it needs to go back in for another 30 seconds. Sometimes not. Once I have that all like smooth and glossy looking, then I slowly add in my keto chow. I do just like 1/5 at a time of the keto chow until that's nice and mixed in. And I just keep doing that. Pour it in my parchment lined dish and put it in the fridge for a couple of hours. Now, the white chocolate and the pumpkin spice chocolates, they are softer fudge. So it won't set up like a hard fudge. It's going to be more of that creamy, like if you ever had.
Is that what you have right now? What do you use?
Today I use.
No, the one we already have.
Yeah, that's the white.
Okay, I was going to show her.
Yeah. The white chocolate and the pumpkin pie I noticed is more like if you ever had like real peanut butter fudge where it's just that kind of creamy, almost pools.
Almost like taffy.
Yeah. But the ones, the semi-sweet seem to really work well. And I learned that from Shauna. She was like, oh, just do the semi-sweet. That almost works for any of the flavors. But here's his white chocolate. It is
What
softer.
Flavor, keto chow
Fruity cereal. A little bit closer. Yeah, and then just kind of push it.
See, I ain't really pushing that hard, and I'm fixing to drop it though.
Yeah, the white chocolate will be a lot softer.
But it's fine with me. I mean, it still tastes amazing.
Yeah. Oh, and Sharon even told her that. Mary T said, my sickest friend on Zoom today telling me I better get to the doctor. No way, that was just electrolytes. Doesn't believe any of this. So sad. Right? And then you just have to see what, whatever it actually is. Sometimes things just happen, but she's already convinced, right? She doesn't want to try it. She's convinced that it's bad for you. So what can you do, right?
Well, it's like that one friend of mine told me that it's not going to work because as soon as you stop, all your weight comes back. I said,
right.
How you fix that? She said, don't stop. And
Sharon,
I'm not doing it for weight loss. So.
Sharon said Monday and Thursday fast work best for me. See, it's like finding that
sweet spot.
That sweet spot. And then me, because I'm still a cycling woman, that might be TMI, but I then have to do it according to my cycle. So like last week, I could not fast. Like, well, I would say I should not fast because like Mindy Pell says, like you shouldn't fast at these times, right? So I wasn't fasting last week, even though I was like, well, it's probably good, but then it's not good for my hormones. And that's the mistake I made before when I first started keto. I really, because I got into really long fast, like I was doing 5-6 day fast. And, but it really ended up messing my hormones up really bad because I didn't know then how to play the fast with your hormones so that the hormones are happy and then your body's happier because of that. And I ended up like really messing things up for several months. So for several months, I didn't fast. Well, actually for a couple of years, I didn't do long fast. I still generally, naturally, if I'm not trying to fast, I typically fast like 16 hours.
That's why I tell everybody I fast every single day. That's why the first meal is called breakfast. If they break fast.
Right. But you probably are more like the 10 to 12 hour fast.
Probably, yeah.
But generally, left to my own devices, I typically don't eat a breakfast. So I mostly fast 16 hours, sometimes longer, just depending on the day. Because even at work, I typically don't go to lunch till 1:30, 2 o'clock. Sometimes I look down and it's like 2:30 and I'm like, oh no, I need to take lunch.
Right.
Mary T looked up leonic acid levels in vegetables, and most are above 40%, up to 74, with the exception of canola. It was 21. I'll still buy cheap pork, maybe not as often. Well, there you go. See, that's a huge difference there. Lynette said, I simply cannot relate to young, thin people. I also don't think I can really learn anything from them because they don't walk in my shoes. And that's how that's how I feel sometimes. I'm not going to name the channels, but I went to a couple other channels that are popular in the keto carnivore space, because I like to see, well, what are we doing different? And I was like, oh, well, one, I'm not like 25 and a size 0. And then, when they're giving advice, I'm like, it's hard for me to take advice from someone who is young and thin because I'm like, you haven't been in my shoes. Again, it's like, I'm not going to name somebody, but somebody who claims they were overweight. And it's like, I saw your overweight picture. Like, to me, that's my gold picture.
Right.
And you're showing that as your overweight. Oh, here's where I was so overweight and obese. And when I've seen that, I'm just like, okay, that's not, to me, that's not, no, I can't relate. So when you're saying, oh, look how skinny I am, I'm like, well, you didn't have that much to lose to begin with. And it's, to me, it's the same diet advice I've gotten my whole life, ever since I was a teenager, when people would be like, oh, all you need to do is eat less, exercise more. All you need to do is focus on what you're doing. All you need to do is do this. And it's like, coming from somebody who was never actually obese, right? They might have had, 20 pounds on them, but they weren't actually obese for a long time. Like some people, like maybe they're teenagers, because you haven't lived that much when you're only in your 20s, and they gauge, 30 pounds or 50 pounds over like spring break or over the summer or something. And they're like, oh, that scared me and I lost weight. And this is how I did it. And you're just not losing because you're not focusing. And I'm like, okay, you had one episode. I have been overweight and slowly gained weight since I was 5 years old. So there wasn't this, oh, I was always naturally skinny and fit. And then, oh, I gained all this weight one year and I took charge of my life and lost it. No, I've always had weight and I've tried every freaking diet there has been on the market everywhere. And it's not my focus. It's not my willpower. It's not, this, whatever. And, oh, move more, all this bullshit. It's not that. And it makes me mad when I hear them, oh, well, this is why you're not losing weight, or, oh, this is the excuse you give yourself, or this is what, no more excuses, da, da, da. And I'm like, I'm not sitting over here making excuses. Like, it just irritates me. And so I'm like, okay, well, great. They have, 200,000 followers or 1 million followers. And it's like, But you're not telling people, okay, the reason I actually lost weight is because I was young to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And I came from a family where everybody was active and all this stuff. And all I had to do was just do this one thing. And it's like, okay.
Paint the whole picture.
Right. And Brenda F said, hold up. Oh, how much heavy cream? Just 1/4 of a cup.
Like she actually uses the keto child recipe.
Yeah. Well, they have 2 recipes.
Okay.
I use the one for the banana fudge. So it's 1/4 of a cup. Not a whole cup, just 1/4. And I do a little over the line. It depends on the heavy cream. Because, sometimes you buy heavy cream and it's like really thick. And even though the same brand, I get generally the Aldi brand all the time. And sometimes I pour it and it's like really thick. If it's really thick, then, I can't do just right at 1/4. But if it's kind of liquidy, I do a little bit over.
I think part of our issue too with our channel is we don't promote that many products. Really.
Right. I think that is true. We don't eat a lot of products.
Right.
And so I think that's part of it. We're just basically cooking.
Right.
And I know cooking, there's a million cooking channels. Lynette said, sometimes I think to myself, I have underwear.
Right. Like I told him, I've gotten into arguments about this with I was like, look, man, you've been doing this for a cup of coffee, basically.
Right.
You're going to tell me how I need to lose weight.
Right. Which is funny, again, for somebody who has never been overweight.
Right.
Like I gained 30 pounds and I lost it. So therefore, I'm the expert.
I did it with just doing MREs.
I know. And I'm like, again, live a life.
Right.
Mary T said, I always say some are born round, some straight. You're round. You'll never have that straight look. If you did, you wouldn't look right. My sister was round. She got skinny once and looked ill. Yeah. And that's always been a question. I was always like, well, I wonder, what I would even look. I have no idea what I'd look like then. So I don't know. The most I ever lost was when I was vegan. So, it'd be nice if I could I was on that way with keto and I feel like I messed it up by going carnivore because then I gained it all back. But
plus some too, right?
No, because once I gained it all back, I freaked out and said, okay, no more carnivore. So, and I know part of that's probably fasting is supposed to help with this on helping you know or more aware of when you're hungry and when you're not and when to stop eating. And I know I'm horrible at that. So I don't really have a shut off. So I've thought about entering those food eating challenges because I think I would do pretty well at it because I can just keep eating. And most of the time I stop just to force myself like, okay, that's really too much, Shelly.
Because one of my favorite things to do is go to like the Brazilian restaurants and she out eats me.
Yeah. It's just,
like, aren't you?
And so when they tell you on carnivore, you can eat all you can. No, don't do right. Don't do that because that's what I was like, okay, challenge accepted. And guess what? That didn't work for me. And plus I felt awful the whole time, but that's my thing. So I'm hoping also with fasting that eventually the hormones will regulate and it'll fix and be like, okay, yeah, now you're actually full. And I won't have to be like, okay, no, this is what a normal person would eat, Shelly. Because sometimes I see y'all's meals and I'm like, okay, where's the rest?
Right.
Because it's hard for me. And let me know if anybody else feels this way. It's hard for me because I'm used to a plate looking like, this. Like, this is what I'm used to eating. And so when it's like, oh, you shouldn't be eating that much, it does have that like, oh, I'm having to restrict myself by, no, Shelly, don't have, a 16-ounce ribeye and this, side of cabbage and this other side, right? It's like, you should only have like a 10-ounce ribeye and this and this. And it's like, then I feel like I'm being restrictive. So to me, it's just easier just to fast then. That well, yeah, because I feel like, well, if I just fast, then on the days that I feast, I could actually feast and not feel like I'm restricting myself. Like last night, you need all that. Otherwise, I'd have to be like, okay, let's.
I get 2 shrimp and that's it.
Right, 2 or 3 shrimp, and
I can't live like that.
well, but I mean,
I
it's like you can't just.
Well,
For somebody like me who doesn't have that shut off, I can't just eat until I'm full because I will keep eating. Like I could, like that burger place. Only had the patty. I could have ate that triple patty all by myself, no problem. But I forced myself, okay, just have the single patty because that's what should be acceptable. Brenda said, okay, I answered that. She goes, try to write down. Okay, well, and I'll put it in the short too. Mary T said, you're round and gorgeous that way, by the way. In the picture of health, look at you before and after.
Yes.
Same as Shada, her face to face. Before and after is breathtaking. That's what it's about. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, sometimes I would never want to be like a size 0 or even a size 6. I feel like I would be, but if I got down to like a size 10, I would be happy with that. Where I could just shop at a normal store and know I can find clothes with no problem. Right? Yeah. Or go thrifting and find actual, cute stuff. So I feel like a size 10, 12, that would be my goal, honestly. I would be happy with that. But mainly my goal is honestly, as long as I'm not ill.
Right.
And I continue to go to the doctors and the blood work continues to stay good, to me, that's a win. So even if I never lose another pound, kind of sad though. But if I didn't, as long as I'm still healthy, I think overall, well, let me say this. As long as I'm still healthy and able, because it is important to be able. As long as I'm doing that, then I'm okay. So that's why I still do like my daily exercise isn't for losing weight. It's so that I stay flexible and mobile. Yeah. And that's why I do it. So, on days I'm like, oh, I just want to, get up and go do this. I'm like, no, you need to do it. Make your body move, Shelly, for your older self. Your older you will thank you for doing this today. And that's how I look at it.
But I think a lot of it too is like you and I both have different approaches to this because our health issues going into it is totally
right.
Different.
That is.
Because like the few times we do have off-plan meals, it drastically affects you more than it does me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I see it first.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Like I can feel it right away. And I feel like it takes a day or two and then all of a sudden you have issues and you're like, oh, why did I do that?
Right.
And because it affects your MS.
Yeah.
Brenda said, looks good. We had to eat ours with a spoon.
Oh
my goodness. Sharon says she uses half a cup. Oh, really? Okay. I just do the 1/4. Might do it too little. I mean, it turns out right. Yeah. But Mary T said, those people have no frame of reference for being 100 pounds or more overweight. No idea, right?
But isn't that true with most recipes too, though? You always have to kind of fine tune it a little bit your way anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And I do think it depends on, your heavy cream, how thick or liquid it is.
And I wonder also, because you're using Aldi here, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these folks don't have an Aldi. I wonder if it's their brand they're using too.
I mean, it could be. That's why I said you go with the thickness.
I know because a lot of times other recipes it depends on what the brand they're using too.
Yeah, that's true.
Certain things.
Yeah, but if it's liquid, that to me might mean you're using too much heavy cream.
Right.
If it's not setting up, so I would think maybe try lowering and see what happens.
Like I know a good example I use, like my Rotel. I use that because I like the amount of liquid that's in the can when I use on certain recipes.
Right.
But if I use the off-brand or a different, like a Del Monte or even a store brand stuff, there's more liquid in that.
Right. That's
so it mixes up the whole thing.
Right.
So a lot of times that will have an effect on the outcome.
Right. Because again, if my
finished product,
if my heavy cream, I would maybe try using less heavy cream and see if it'll set up.
Yeah.
Shauna said, sorry, I was packing up some essentials for the weekend and just listening in. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Oh, and Brenda said, I used a half. So try a 1/4.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've been doing. Oh, and you used a half stick of butter. Oh, yeah, it's just a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of butter. So that's probably what it is. You're almost trying to make a double batch.
Yeah.
Which those would be great if you're trying to do a double batch. But otherwise, I would say cut it in half. So 2 tablespoons of butter and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. That's what I use every time. And it's been working.
Don't you also kind of adjust yours a little bit based on that dish you're using?
For the fudge?
Yeah, because you make it in that.
Oh, well, no, that works for that dish.
Oh,
yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, what if it's the dish she's using and it spreads out more or something like that? Is what I was thinking. Or am I way off on that?
I mean, it could be but that would be the issue. Would be she would say it was too thin. She's saying it's runny.
Okay.
And I think that's why.
I'm just brainstorming.
You're like double. If you were going to do 2 packages of keto chow, that would be the perfect way.
Yeah.
But I think if you're just trying to use 1 packet or 1 serving, then yeah, you need to try having it, because that's what I've been doing, and it's always worked out for me.
I was just trying to think of another way to.
Oh, bye, Sharon. She said, Hubs is calling. Needs my help with something. See you later.
Oh, okay.
Mary T said, I have a friend who was always skinny. She saw a cruise pic with larger people in it and said disgustedly, those people are keto. I took her head off.
Uh-huh.
Right. And that's what I noticed, like at some of the keto conventions, is I'll go up, just socialize, and they'll be like, yeah, well, when you're keto, like they're trying to mansplain, honestly, keto to me. And I'm just like, look, I've been keto for years now. Shauna said, all the food pics you see me posting, my plates are only 7 inches in diameter, so my full plates are still not as full as it looks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've been doing is using the smaller plates. So I usually use a lunch plate, or Renee got me those really cute appetizer plates. So I've been doing that too, because that's part of it. I like to see the full plate. And then, yeah, sometimes I do over what? Oh, you're fatty.
Yeah, it's still sitting.
And Radical Geek said, I like full plates of food. Yeah, see, me too. I like to see like a whole plate of it.
And I'm okay with putting stuff back. I will overflow my plate. If I can't eat it, I'll put it away and put it up later.
Right? Yeah.
Because I have a really big leftovers.
Right.
Very few foods I don't like leftover.
And I feel like you're good at knowing when to stop, though. Whereas I'm not.
Well, on certain foods, I'm not.
Yeah.
Especially with pizza.
Well, right. Pizza, yeah. Shauna said, well, they are full, just a smaller plate. Did I say? No, that's it. You said it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I try to do too, is, use the smaller plates. But it's still, I don't know. Like I've seen people before, and no offense, but I've seen others that will post, "Oh, I'm having chicken wings," and it's 3 chicken wings.
Yeah.
And they're like, "This is my dinner tonight, 3 chicken wings."
And they're talking about how full they are.
And I'm like, 3 chicken wings would just make me angry. Right. So I'm like, am I just like way overeating? Because even as a child, I hated the child's plate. And I remember telling my mom, I want the regular menu. I don't want this child's plate. But, so, I've obviously always had an issue with knowing how much is too much food.
Right.
So, yeah. And then when I see pictures and I'm like, well, I mean, like I see that and I'm like, I would still be really hungry afterwards, I would think. So I'm like, is my 3 Pernell sausage, is that a lot? Like, should I only be eating 2? And then it's like, okay, I try that. And then I'm like, well, now I got to go eat this other stuff because I'm still hungry.
Yeah, if I'm always hungry all the time, then there's a problem.
Right.
Your measurements are all off. The recommendations anyways.
I know. And it's just hard to do that, right? To figure out where, I guess it is for me to, where's that line? Mm-hmm. Mary T said, your fasting regimen sounds like it may be a great strategy, Shelley. Oh, thank you. I think it has helped a lot, as it, it helps me, just kind of feel like, okay, I'm what's good for my body, because I think, I think fasting is good for me personally, and I seem to do well on it. But I am also aware, like if I've had fast before, that all of a sudden I wasn't feeling too good, and I'll check my blood sugar. And yeah, if I'm not feeling well, I'm not going to white knuckle through it, y'all. Like no, if I'm not feeling well or something's going on, no, I will break a fast. So it's not one of those in my mental head. I'm not like, no, too bad. You're just got to stand strong through it. No, I'll be like, you know what? I made it to 42 hours. That's good enough.
Well, I know with my MS too, you've seen it affect me. We've been out doing stuff, and we've gotten to the point where I need to carry something with us. Like if we're going to be out, like, and carry a backpack or whatever with me with some snacks of some sort, meat sticks or something, because it will start affecting me if I go too long without eating. You've seen it.
Yeah, but I've also saw that when you were BBB and E, that you were doing only 2 meals a day, right, and you were better that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat as many vegetables then, or any all. But it's not fun. That's why I don't want to keep doing that.
Right. And I think it also depends on your activity. Yeah. If we're just riding in the car, you don't need a snack.
Right.
But if we are going out and doing stuff, and like, especially like if we go to like a farmer's market or some kind of event where you're really walking a lot and you're out in the heat, I think part of it is you're getting overheated. And then that's when, if you have something, I think he wants to go out.
Come on, buddy. You want to go? Ready?
Sam, come on.
Hey, come here, buddy.
Samson.
Come with me.
Come on.
No, he's weird. He won't go out with me sometimes. She has to wait, and Shelly will take him out, and he'll go right away.
Terry said, behind here, but laugh out loud at Mama Bear Lynette, for I have underwear older than you. Yeah. So true, right?
That's true.
Isn't that hilarious? Crafty Carnivores, hey Hyla, how are you? Said hello. Hope everyone is doing well.
Well, it's like Dr. Barry said before too. Like, you can't teach your parents. He goes, because they're like, well, I taught you how to use a spoon. What are you going to teach me?
Right. Well, right. How have you been doing, Hyla? Shah said, if I'm eating the right stuff for me and I'm still hungry, I'm probably not eating enough in that particular meal. Right. Right. Exactly. Brenda said, okay, butterscotch fudge in the fridge. Nice. Thanks. Ooh, I love the butterscotch fudge. Oh, that's so good. El Strait said, I only ate 2 meals on BBB and E. I felt like I really knew when I was hungry and never wanted to snack, but I agree. Didn't like BB and E. It was not fun. Yeah, it's like too restrictive. I just have found, especially with the fermented food, I really enjoy, especially ferments, but I do enjoy vegetables. And I mean, I did do well on vegan. I lost a lot of weight on there, and I did feel like in some ways I was healthy, but I was lacking. So it's like a middle ground. There's, and I get it, why there's carnivore, why there's vegan, right? Because everybody's tried to be the healthiest. And overall, it's just get rid of the processed foods,
right,
and the seed oils, and you're going to be so much better. And it's just finding that happy medium, what works for you. Like being totally carnivore, it's just not for us. We just enjoy. I think part of it is we enjoy trying all different kinds of flavors and foods.
And I cannot see a world where I can't have our pork belly Brussels. That is my favorite dish.
Right, exactly. Really, and we like different hot sauces. We like experimenting with foods, and you just don't. I don't want to be doing something long term that restricts me from doing what I want. Right.
I think that's also why I don't track, because once I start doing all that stuff, to me it almost feels like an eating disorder. And that messes with my head, and I can't do that to myself.
Right. I just try to figure out what's a good middle ground. Right. And I have to say, ever since we started the probiotic and prebiotic and polyphenols, all the ferments, I have felt so much better. At least my gut-wise, I have felt so much better. And in fact, lately, this past week, when I was so sick, Like, especially on Tuesday when I was like, ugh, I just started chugging the milk kefir. Like, I was drinking over a pint of it a day.
Because haven't you been also drinking the liquid off of the ferments?
Yeah, and I would do ferment brine shots.
And she had me doing it too. Whenever y'all a couple weeks ago, or was it? When I don't remember how long it was now. It was
2 weeks.
Yeah, when I had that problem with my voice, she was having me do that too. And I think that helped me too.
Right. So I would do that, and then I would just feel like there was something else I was going to say, but yeah, I was just guzzling that milk kefir every day, and taking the ferment brine shots, and just really. Oh, and the kombucha. That was the other thing. That kombucha we got. I would just go and do a shot of kombucha. Like, I wouldn't drink like, a whole pint of it. I would just do like maybe a half a cup of kombucha, and just do that just to try to get, all these different good bacterias and yeast all in me, and just really did that. So that'll be something. That's the other thing I feel is hard, because I have been drinking over a pint of milk kefir every day. Did not have my milk kefir today and tomorrow. And, I might have some Tuesday night when I break my fast. But I was like, that's kind of sad, because I really want my milk kefir. And I'm still debating, because like a cup of milk kefir is about 100 calories. And I've heard that some people are like, well, as long as you don't have more than 500 calories in a day, you're still technically fasting. And I'm like, what do y'all think? Should I still have a cup of kefir every night before bed it would be about an hour before bed.
Well, it's also like when I was doing the triple B&E, you didn't do it because you're still doing your gut health stuff.
Right.
So that way I think would fall into that same rule.
Right. So
your gut health.
Right. And so I just wonder, like, should I still, or should I just stick to a pure water fast? What do you think? Mary T said, I could eat 20 wings, Shelly. Yeah. Those who eat 3 have no hair. You ever notice that? I don't know. I don't want to call out anyone specifically. I know they're not watching. They're usually not in our lives anymore. But I was just like, 3, and to say you're so full. But yeah, 20 wings easily. I could do that. Now, I do understand, like, if you've had the different stomach surgeries, I know that affects how much you can eat. So that, I totally get that. Like, no shade at all, if you have gone through that. I think Shauna has. But, when you have that, then, yeah, that makes sense. But if you haven't, and you're like, oh, 3 wings, I'm so full. I'm just like, really?
Especially when they're not breaded.
Right. Because, like, I could down 20 wings. Like, when we go to Buffalo Wild Wings, like, we each would just get 20 wings. And then I was like, okay, well, when I'm doing a cut with my coach, I do have to track all that stuff. And I'll be like, well, I can only do, 10 or, 15. And I'm like, so I'm trying to eat less like I'm supposed to, but it's hard. Shauna said, I can't quite eat 20 wings, but I know my top off number for red arch teed shrimp is 9. There you go. And see, 9 shrimp. And there's some people would be like, oh, just like, 3 shrimp. Ooh, that was a lot. I'm like, no. Elshay said, Serrano brine shots will wake you up. Yes. I had one that was like, it was all the pepper one. And so, especially when his voice was real bad, I was like, look, just do a shot of this. And remember, you were like, whoa.
That'll light you up. What do they say? Oh, dim the running lights.
Man, but it didn't feel good, though, going down your throat. You were like, whoa.
A little bit, yeah. I wasn't in a hurry to do another one, though.
No, he was like, okay, not doing that. But I was like, well, I mean.
It sure was food as medicine.
But he said night juice. Right. That's how I feel. Kefir is my night juice.
Yeah, I thought that was a term for something else, though.
Oh.
For liquor.
Oh. Hi, listen, I'm doing pretty good, just dealing with sinus and allergies, right? Yeah. All the rain and weather changes. I was in y'all's area a few weeks ago.
Who?
And you didn't.
Who was?
You didn't look us up, Hyla?
Oh. Yeah.
Crafty Carnivorous. Wow. Oh. You should have messaged us.
Okay, but here's a caveat to that. A lot of people say they're in our area. We are actually on the north side of Houston. So were you?
Lisa said kefir is the night. And she goes, it rained last night for us. Oh,
Yes,
us
us
too.
too.
Like
we got a swamp again.
Yeah, we have a swamp again.
Because you saw the picture where I was cutting up the fallen tree. It's still sitting out in the yard because I couldn't get to it. It was raining so bad I can't set up out there and cut the rest of it up because it was too big. The pieces are too big, so the
garbage
folks didn't take it. I need to cut it up. That's what I'm gonna work on Tuesday morning.
But yeah, our yard is complete swamp right now.
Yeah.
So it rained most of the day yesterday, but I remember last night it thundered a bit, right?
Yes, a lot. It got loud.
Oh, see, this ear's kind of plugged up still. So it's like this one I'm doing better, but this one's plugged. So like one of them, I remember it thundered and you were like, whoa. And then that was the last one I heard.
Yeah. Because remember, it was raining so bad. We're sitting on the couch watching TV, and being deaf, I still heard it, the rain. She's like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't know.
I was like, I can't hear. He's like, isn't that rain? I'm like, I can't hear anything. I am deaf right now. And Shauna said, yes. And Crafty said, we've gotten a lot of rain the last few weeks, right? El Strange said, no hair. Ha, ha, ha. And Shauna said, level out. Serrano bride shot would put me down.
Yes.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. That is not Shauna approved.
Lisa said, light up the shots. Let's go. Ferment shots, right? Uh-oh.
I'll be back.
Talking about shotting. But yeah, the ferment shots, those were fun. I mean, we have shot glasses, so why not? Let's see. Oh, Crafty said problem was last night for her daughter. She doesn't work with fresh. Right. Don't you do I thought you did the what do they call it again? But you know, the fake flowers, I know. Mary T said, I've been finding Dr. Saladino interesting. Not sure I buy what he's selling yet, but check him out. He's eating fruit and honey. Too much to explain here. Yeah, we used to follow him, and he even read his book. It's not our cup of tea. Let me just say that. But thank you. If you find it interesting, then go right ahead. Lee said, I think I need to break down and buy a mini chainsaw for my falling branches. Oh, goodness. To cut them up. I know he's just using a, what do they call it? A chop saw? He used the Sawzall to cut them in the backyard. But I think he's going to use the chop saw for the big logs out front. But yeah, isn't it a pain? But, and I know there's at least 2 more that need to come down. So such a pain. And it makes me mad that yesterday was heavy trash day and they didn't take the tree limbs. Excuse me. Hyla said, I was in Hempstead area. We put on a mom event. Oh. It was a 3-day event nonstop. I didn't allow myself any free time.
Oh, wow.
I had wished I'd stayed another day for other stuff. Right.
What kind of event?
A mom, moms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that ain't too
Wow.
far. We're up that way, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. Hempstead's more west, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not that far. But
yeah. Terry said, anyone see the Oprah special about Ozempic? Oh, no. One thing they talked about that really hit home was the medication helped with their constantly thinking about food. That's my problem.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my problem, too. Because, I mean, we are a food channel. I'm like I'm telling her, I always think about food, like constantly. Because I'm already thinking about what we're making on the next trip, Friday Night Feast.
Right. I did not see the special, but I mean, I've heard other people talk about Ozempic and some of I'm trying to think if it was Mindy Pels had someone on, or if I was listening to, what's her name? She's also into like fasting. She wrote a book about intermittent fasting. I can't remember her name. I see her. She's like blonde. But she also was talking about Ozempic, and I don't know. I'm just
scared.
Well, one, I've never been a pill person, so to think about taking a pill to stop my eating, I'm just concerned about that. Like, I feel like I need to find an alternative way. But I don't know. I guess really figure out if that's something. I would listen to a lot of sources before I made that decision. Let me just say that. And wrote, compare your pros and cons on what would do it. But
and honestly, for me, a lot of that stuff goes in one ear and out the other. I just file it away with all the other gimmick stuff, whether it is or not.
Oh, but
that's my attitude.
Yeah, if you're thinking about food, I would say maybe figure out, like he says, he thinks about food, but it's more like you're not sitting there thinking, oh, I want to go eat this right now. Aren't you thinking about like planning? Yes. Oh, I want to make this. I want to make that.
I enjoy cooking.
Right. But I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think what she's saying is it's more like you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I just want to go get a hamburger right now. Or I want to go get this, or I want to go get that. And so that, I don't know, what you could do to help with that. I guess fasting does help me with that in a way, because it gives me something to kind of look forward to. Like, oh, I think then when I break this fast, I'm going to have this, right? And
because you actually look forward to the fasting, right?
Well, I look forward to the benefits of fasting.
Because it's just like the whole time I've been doing it, the whole time you've been doing it and you're trying to rope me into doing it too, it's like complete dread for me to do it.
Oh, yeah.
There was a few times I was skipping breakfast and stuff like that, and like before Triple B&E, I was doing that too. Remember, and I just felt awful about it.
Well, no, you weren't feeling well, and I think that goes to say your body needs changes, right? The worst thing I think you could do is to be homeostasis with your body, where you're eating the same things the same way all the time. So that's why I do like the fasting, because I do like to change it up. So like last week was definitely a feast week, which is how it should be. And so I was enjoying that. And then like when we went to Austin, we had breakfast. I normally don't have breakfast. So that was kind of changing things up a little bit. And I think your body, you need those changes. So if you're someone who's OMAD all the time, go back to 2 or 3 and do that for a week or 2. And then if you're, like you, for a while, we were just eating 2 times. And then you went to 3 and that felt different. And so changing things up, I think, is helpful for the body overall. And also, I don't know, I've been hearing about diet breaks. And that sometimes if you go, and my coach kind of does this, because she has, if you go strong and you meet your targets for 4 weeks in a row, you have to meet your target for those 4 weeks, not weight loss and stuff, but basically your targets, like my macros are this for this week, and you meet those goals for 4 weeks in a row, then you can have one meal that is off plan.
What do they call it? Planned deviation?
Yeah, she calls it planned deviation. And then she said, overall, that helps a lot of people. And in fact, before her, I never did that because I was like just ultra strict on everything, y'all. And so she kind of got me to lax a little bit and try those every once in a while. But again, it was, at least 4 weeks of being consistent and meeting those. Right. And that's what I was hearing. This other guy, he was like, when you're doing a diet, of course, I don't look at keto as a diet, but if you do a diet, do something and you're going full force for 2 or 3 months, then have a week where you're off. Like, don't go completely off the rails, but like if you're restricting yourself, I'm not going to have, like maybe you're doing, carnivore and you go full force carnivore for 3 or 4 months, have a week where you're not carnivore, you're introducing some vegetables and just changing it up. That's basically what he was saying. Not to, hit all the Twinkies and stuff. No, not that. Just, or if you're a diet that, I'm only eating, 1,500 calories this whole 2-3 months, have a week where you're doing 2,000 calories,
Right.
like really have a change to it. And that apparently the studies so far are showing your body actually, when you do that, when you have that break, your body afterwards as more effective at building muscle and losing weight.
Okay.
Lisa said, I heard Ozempic hits the muscle first. I need to build muscles.
Okay.
Right. That's what I've heard too. I've heard various different things. That's why I'm just like, ooh. Shauna said, I have very little faith in what is said on Oprah. I have heard very bad things about Ozempic. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't watch Oprah, so I don't know either way. We don't really watch TV anymore. Like, we'll watch shows. And then we just kind of like binge watch a show and then we go to a new show. But we don't really watch news or talk shows. We're not really into that. What?
Okay. No, I hear a little motor. I thought maybe it was a sound coming from your phone or something like that. But then I hear we're on the main drag. Our house is right, on the main drag. Yeah. And a lot of these kids or some of the young adults too are running little dirt bikes up and down the street. That's what I just heard. But the way it sounded almost like somebody talking, or like one of your song alarms.
But yeah, so I've heard a lot of things about Ozempic. I don't know. I have a few Facebook friends that swear by it, that swear that it has helped them tremendously. So, I mean, again, it's just kind of their N equals 1, but, educate and figure out what works for you. Right. Terry said, not promoting the drugs. Well, right. I know you were just talking about what she said, but the constantly thinking about food was true for me. I don't like drugs either. And it has to be taken for life. Yeah. And that's another thing. Like, I don't want to be stuck on something for life.
That's a good business model for them.
You feel like, well, maybe we need to try something else. And then I saw another friend who was so mad, and maybe she saw the Oprah, but she was so mad because she was like, there are those of us who are diabetics who depend upon Ozempic because they're diabetic, and now they're short because all these people are just getting it as a weight loss pill. And so a lot of pharmacies don't have it in stock, or there's a longer wait. And so for people who are using it for diabetes, which was the initial treatment for it, are having trouble getting refills.
Well, I mean, it's weird how things work like that. I don't want to get too graphic, but I regularly take Imodium to handle issues. I used to buy the giant, what is the 500 pills, the giant bottle of it. Mm-hmm. And now anymore. They say because people are taking it and making street drugs with it.
What was it?
Imodium.
Oh. Remember? Oh, yeah, you researched because I was like, why can't you get more than 24?
Yeah.
Like, that's dumb.
They stifled it now where you can't buy a big supply anymore. And they said they're taking it and making street drugs with it.
Who would have thought Imodium?
Right.
And Mary T said, I know Oprah does know something about being obese, but I'm kind of mad at her for pushing Ozempic. I think you provide a much better service to folks.
Right.
I mean, I don't know the whole thing, but I know she has been overweight most of her life, but I don't know. Because wasn't she also pushing Weight Watchers for a while? Right. I don't know. Or one of those others? Crafty said, Ozempic is new, isn't it? New prescriptions always make me nervous. I mean, it's been around, I think, a couple years now. But again, it came out for treatment for diabetes. And then when these people who were diabetics were taking it, they noticed they were losing weight. So then now they spin it as a weight loss drug. Lisa said, BBB and E help me not think of food. I think Ozempic is a shot. Oh, you give yourself. Okay, well, I didn't know that. See how much I know? Oh, no, I can't do shots. That was one thing when I was diagnosed as a diabetic, and they gave me the stuff to take the insulin, and they were like, you're going to have to take a shot. I was like, oh, well, that ain't going to happen. So I just didn't do it. Right. I never gave myself the insulin because I was like, I can't do it. I can't put a needle in myself, especially myself. I was like, So I just didn't treat my diabetes, which I think in the end was actually probably better.
Yeah.
because I wasn't giving myself insulin. But I can't do that. So no, if it's a shot, I certainly would say no.
That's why I really think our approach to this, to keto and everything, is totally different than everybody else's because of the way we came to it.
Right. Yeah, because sleep for health. And that's why that's the main thing I focus on now. Again, as long as my lab work continues to come back good and I'm still able-bodied and getting around and feeling better. And I'd say that's one of the things why I enjoy fasting is the first 24 is a little like, it's not fun, right? I'll admit that. The first 24 hours of fast is not fun. After that, it really, where I feel like it hits home is at the 36-hour mark. Like I can almost feel when I hit 36 hours, I get so clear-headed, so focused, and so much energy that usually when I'm fasting today, I started last night at like 8 p.m. And we took forever to make dinner last night. We usually try to eat around 6 p.m., but it was later.
Tune that a little better for Friday, though.
Well, yeah. But so by the time I hit the 36 hours, I can almost feel it because I have all this energy. And usually on those days like tomorrow for my lunch, when I clock out for work, if I can't work through it, sometimes, I can work through it because I know like on Friday I'll be leaving early or something like that. But otherwise, if I have to take my 30-minute lunch, I have so much energy, I'll just start cleaning the house. And then I'll be like, oh, shoot, that 30 minutes went fast because I was just busy cleaning because I have like so much energy. So it is in a way where the fasting does become a little addictive because I like that feeling. But like following Mindy Pell's on the cycle, I could tell a difference. Like she says, from days 11 through 15, you shouldn't fast at all. And I've tried to do a longer fast on that time, and my body's just not like it. Or the days 20 through 28, 29, whatever it is. Also the same thing. You still can usually, I'm pretty good at hitting 15, 16, even up to 19 hours. That usually doesn't bother me. But if I try to go beyond that during those times in my cycle, like I can feel like my body does not like it. And it just is harder to do that. But otherwise, like right now, I'll breeze through this 36 hours and be like, oh, what? Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to eat today kind of deal. Oops. Shauna said, when he started saying that I was hearing in one way and out the other, and it wasn't ears.
Oh, wow.
3TQ Cat said, how do you feel about needles, Shelly? Ozempic is an injection. To me, that's worse than taking a pill. Not that you were wanting to use it. Yeah, I'm 100% out with that. No, thank you. Oh, no, can't do it. Can't do it. Lisa, I've heard of diet breaks too, not balls to the wall type of break. I love that balls to the wall. But listening of the room. Yeah. And that's what the guy was basically saying is you have a diet break where, and like to me, a keto diet break is, okay, maybe I'll eat 3 meals this week. Or, maybe we'll have a little more. But I feel like this is kind of like Mindy Pell's too, right? Like she says that last week, the days 20 through 28, that you should have higher carbs. And I truly do that. And I do feel like it does help me that week and again, a higher carb isn't, I'm getting a Twinkie or I'm getting, I don't know, a piece of bread or, tons of pineapple or stuff. But I think if you wanted to do those things, that would be the week to do it. But usually mine is, you know what, we're going to have sweet potatoes this week.
Right.
Or I'm going to add more onions and mushrooms and these other veggies and just have a little more veggies or have salads during the week.
Because for a while there, you were really shying away from the Brussels because you thought they were messing with you.
Right. And now, but that was before I fixed fixing my, I don't have that issue. So, just having a little bit higher carbs. And that to me is kind of like a keto break, right? So instead of being like, oh, I'm only supposed to have under 20 or under 10 total, Well, in those weeks, that week, then I might be having upwards of 30 to 40, maybe even 50 total carbs. But I think it's okay. And that's kind of like what I've heard Mindy Pels say too, is on those days that, she 50 total carbs, she sees that there's nothing wrong with it. Like that's, if you're getting nature's carbs, that's her terminology. So if you're getting it from vegetables and fruit, then that's fine. If you're not going and getting like a burger with,
or a loaf of bread.
Yeah, a loaf of bread and avocado toast every day, that kind of stuff. Like, no, you're just having more of nature's carbs. And I do enjoy that, especially, now with spring and summer coming in full bloom. Like, there's so much great produce out there. And there's another one, and I don't think Rickwan knows who it is, but she used to be carnivore yogi. She's no longer carnivore, and she talked all about it, how carnivore messed up her hormones as well. And now she eats more seasonally.
Like Dr. Berry says, ancestrally appropriate.
Right. And so that's what she's like, during the winter months, she might be more meat heavy because there's not a lot of winter vegetables.
Right.
But during the summer, and I definitely kind of feel that too, that, now that it's like when you started to feel spring, suddenly I wanted salads. But in the wintertime, I would say like mid-November through February, I don't want a salad.
Remember, I was doing that when I was working construction. I remember when I took my own lunch. I didn't go and buy everything. Remember during the heavy heat and summer months, I was taking a salad with me because it was cool.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a warm meal or a hot meal.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that makes sense. And now that it's spring, summer, like I'm enjoying the fresh, nice veggies more. Shauna said, not TV, YouTube shorts, laugh aloud, but seriously, YouTube videos of shows.
Oh.
What is that about?
You watch television shows, but on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You can do that.
Yeah.
And during my work week, I listen to a lot of YouTube. And then, after hours, then Heath and I are usually watching a show. Like we're going to be starting season 3 of Resident Alien. I know, right? I was supposed to say game, but Resident Alien. I really do like it.
And after that, I think we're going to find that other one, the one with Walton Goggins.
Fallout.
Yeah, we're going to start on that one next. That's the plan.
Oh.
We only have one season left, right?
Shauna, Shauna said, did he say ammonia? No, Imodium.
Yeah.
Imodium. Lynette told her, and Shauna said, oh my God, that scared me. Imodium.
Yeah.
She goes, well, they say right now the junkies are turning their meth back into Sudafed allergies.
Oh, wow.
That's hilarious. Lisa said, ooh, street drugs out of the poop stopper. Right? I'm like, that's weird.
Because I did a research. I actually went to Google to find out why I couldn't get the big bottles anymore. Like the biggest thing I can do is 24-pack, and I think they limit it to 2 packages of that at a time. It's a grocery store. I was like, that's
weird. Mary said it's the skinny people like Hollywood folks being prescribed the drug that is criminal, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Or, people who are like, oh, I just need to lose 5-10 pounds.
So I can get ready for this party.
And Mary T said, yes, Weight Watchers. She had commercials about loving bread, eating bread, not learning or teaching a darn thing to anyone. Yep. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, you would think with all of her resources.
Right.
I don't know. Shauna said, no kidding. Being on insulin was my number one why. Having to do those shots for a while was horrible. Like, oh, no, well, I cannot. Be honest with y'all,
I honestly was not sold on keto.
Right.
I was a type 2 diabetic. I was taking the metformin. And now I feel like I'm going to say it, I was half-ass keto. Because whenever I was still working construction, I was away from the house, I was still eating crap, all the garbage. I still go to the drive-thru, get a burger and fries, and eat it. But when I came home, I was on plan because somebody made me be. But it wasn't until the doctor called me and said, hey, you're going to want to stop taking that metformin because it actually could be harmful to you because you're no longer type 2 diabetic. And I was like, what? So that's when I really started looking at stuff and dug into this and started being full-blown keto.
That's why I say, for some people, especially if you have family who are really hesitant, just be like, look, just start by cutting out the processed foods.
Yes.
And I really think if most people did that, even if they're still eating rice and beans and all that stuff, if they just cut out processed foods, packaged foods, fast food, if they cut that stuff out, I think that would help tremendously. So I'm not going to be one of those like keto police, I guess, that's like, no, you have to be keto, because I feel like it depends on, you need to find what works for you and what's sustainable for you. And I feel like we as a people, processed packaged foods are not sustainable for us. They're not long-term sustainable, and we shouldn't have that. So that would be my recommendation for anyone. Just stop those foods, stop the seed oils, and stop the processed packaged foods, and you will get way healthier. And then, go from there. Figure out what works for you from there. And I think that's why, for some people who are vegetarian or vegan, why they cling to it, because, a lot of them who are doing it full blown, like for real, not just doing, the cafeteria type, but they're doing it for, like they're sticking to, I get all of mine at the farmer's market, I make all my meals and stuff. They probably generally do feel a lot better because they're not eating the processed foods. Now, of course, they're still probably eating seed oils, but, generally they're not eating. And I've seen some where, they'll say, I use avocado oil or coconut oil as their fat source. Well, we know those are pretty good oils to use for a fat source. So, if they're doing that, they probably are healthier than your average person who is picking up fast food 4 or 5 times a week, buying all kinds of packaged food from the frozen area or the middle aisles of the groceries. Yeah.
There were several years there before we got together, too. I was living off of frozen. Like when I went to when I worked a couple of jobs, I would take a small cooler with me, and all I would bring was canned sodas and frozen burritos. That was my lunch because it was cheap.
Yeah.
And then I was eating ramens all the time.
Right. And then when we got together, because I've always been more of like, I like to cook from scratch. And then when we got together, he was like, I love eating this. And you would get Totino's, pizzas.
And the pizza rolls.
I was like, I never really, like, I would eat these maybe a couple times in college because, that's what I had. But not now as a working adult.
Right.
I was like, I can afford my own nice pizza.
Right.
Lisa said, giving yourself an injection is I had a blood clot and had to do it twice a day when I got out of the hospital. Ouch. Oh, that's awful. There's just something too, like, I can't. I can give it to somebody else. Oh, bye, Crafty, Carnivorish. Have a good weekend, Hyla. Shauna said, I had a full-on panic attack going in to learn how to give myself a shot. I'll never forget it. Poor doctor. I was a wreck. Yeah, that's why, exactly. Like, I don't know how you did it, Shauna, because when my doctor, was, showing me and even gave me, a starter pack for insulin, I put it in my car and I never took it out. Because I was just like, I mean, that's great and all. And I knew from my mom, too, because my mom would say, it's no big deal. You just go bloop. And I'm like, I can't.
Well, I remember I was almost having a panic attack, too, when we were dressing your wounds off the
cruise.
I
know. Yeah, he had a hard time.
I was afraid I was going to hurt her. Like, do permanent damage to her from not doing it correctly.
No. And here I thought it was the location. You were just like, ooh.
No, that didn't.
If I see that, I don't know.
No, that didn't bother me at all. I was afraid that I would do something wrong to make damages to you from now on.
Right. But no, I just couldn't do it. And I just didn't. I just refused. I was just like, yeah, whatever. And so when I go to the doctor and he would ask, I was like, yeah, sure.
You straight lied to him, huh?
They don't care. It was only 10 minutes anyways, and it was in and out. Mary T said, there are carbs and then there are carbs. Last year, I started eating some fruit seasoning, grew some watermelon and cantaloupe, had a little of that, apples and plums off the tree. Yum.
Oh.
Yeah, and
See, I
that's
was
what
never
I
that big a
mean.
fan of plums.
Huh?
I was never that big a fan of plums.
Well, sometimes I would have them, but a garden fresh one, I'm sure is way better. But yeah, there are carbs and there are carbs. And again, I think if it's nature's carbs, it's just a little different. And what I've heard is that basically like a fruit or a vegetable, you're getting the whole package. You're getting the fiber, the fat, maybe a little bit of protein or whatever that's in that. And so it's not just pure sugar versus, if you're going to go get that, I don't know, fruit flavor, watermelon inspired popsicle, it's nothing but sugar.
Right.
But it's like, well, when you got the watermelon or the cantaloupe, you're not just eating sugar. You're eating the fiber and the other stuff that goes with it. So it's all supposed to go together for a reason.
Or the canned pineapple. That's just heavy sugar too, right?
Right. Especially if you get it in syrup.
Right.
Right. But yeah, if you just get it fresh from your farm, I don't think that's going to be the end all be all.
Right.
Is my personal opinion. It's fresh from your farm. I think you're safe. But if it's, I bought it in the store, here's a packaged, strawberry flavored stuff, then yeah, that's probably not the best thing for you.
Right.
Mary T said, I have to be careful. Nipple hurts, so that keeps me in check.
Oh.
Well, that's good that you have like a indicator, right?
It's basically your check engine light.
And then Lisa said, I'm watching Fallout on episode 3. Okay, how is Walton Goggins?
She don't care about the show. She wants to know about the character or the actor.
Well, because I've been seeing some stuff in one of our
groups,
our sketchy Facebook groups.
And my thing with him, though, every series I've ever seen him in has been good. He's been good in it, and the series has been good.
Yeah, but I've heard because he's kind of like deformed in the show, and so I've just been seeing some things, and people apparently there's already fan fiction about him. Let's just leave it at that. About his character now. Terry said Oprah resigned from Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers now has a program for those taking the drugs.
Yeah. Well,
money.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Follow the money, right? Mary T said, all of us completely sold on keto are sold because of how we feel.
Yes.
Applied it to ourselves and then realized, wow, it's true. But I agree. It's the manufactured foods, not so much the carbs. And I would even say that when it comes to keto foods.
Yes.
Like.
We are highly suspect of any manufactured product that says keto on it.
Right.
We look at that harder than we look at any other product, actually.
Right. And I would even say, here we go. If you were trying to decide between an apple and the Duncan Hines keto muffin mix that you could buy, get the apple.
Yeah.
The apple might have higher carbs, but I'm going to tell you the apple is going to be way healthier than the Duncan Hines packaged keto mix.
For sure.
Now, does that mean I don't ever eat a keto product? Of course I do. Like sometimes I will buy a keto bar or, like that Lily's, those peanut butter cups. Yeah, sometimes I will get something like that. I try not to, I try to, like we made the keto fudge with keto chow, we'll do stuff like that.
Speaking of, well, I'll mess with you, but I was going to say, it should be time we can start slicing that, right?
Slicing what?
The fudge.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. We've been online for 2 hours, but I want to film it before you put it all in there.
Oh, well, we can do that after.
But, what now?
I want one.
Oh, you finished all the other?
Yeah, there's only 2 pieces in there.
Guess I ain't getting any more of that. But yeah, I would say even on keto products, just because something says keto I feel like, let me see if I phrase this correctly. I feel like there are people who are probably saying, oh, I'm keto, who most of their food is still packaged keto products and packaged foods.
Yes.
I feel like it's better if you actually do more of a whole foods approach.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion. A keto treat here and there, packaged treat here and there, that's okay. But a daily, I don't think that's optimal health. My opinion.
Right.
Terry said, agree about it being mostly about processed and fast foods. Rice still calls my name every once in a while, and don't tell me cauli rice because it doesn't work for me. Laugh out loud.
I guess it was easier for us too, or for me anyways, because I was never that big a fan of rice anyways.
Right. And I would think, again, kind of on that diet break and stuff like that, if you have been consistent and you're doing fine, and you know that it's not going to trigger you to like go off the rails, or like Lisa says, balls to the walls. If you feel like that, I don't think there's anything wrong with having that once in a while. Again, like several doctors say, even Dr. Fung says there's the order of food. So don't just go in having just rice. Like I think the order of food is have like a fat, protein, then have your carb.
Mm-hmm.
And I've even heard, maybe even having that carb like rice with some vinegar afterwards, because vinegar, especially apple cider vinegar, is supposed to help lower the impact.
Oh, okay.
But they're saying when you eat the food too, and even Dr. Fung has talked about this, the order of that food, so that then your body's already digesting. So by the time you eat that, then the blood sugar spike shouldn't be as high as if you just ate it by yourself. And they even say when it comes to dessert, like that glucose goddess, what she says is like, it's okay to have chocolate cake once in a while again, but what you want to do is you don't want to go out and only have the cake with a cup of coffee. You should have your meal. So start with your vegetable, have your fat, your protein, fill up, get most of those. Then have your small piece of chocolate cake after. You will still have a blood sugar spike, but it won't be as high. And then you'll be like, okay, I can do this knowing that, if I'm in France, I'm going to want to have a croissant,
Right.
So I don't see that there's anything wrong with that. Again, if you're mostly consistent and then you're not going to go off the wall, like you're having a cup of rice and now you're just like, oh, I got to have rice every single day. Like have it and enjoy it. I had an apple earlier this year when apples were in season. I haven't had an apple in over 5 years. I had one following that protocol. It was good. And I moved on.
I just thought it was amazing too that we're talking about when your coach talking about the planned deviation.
Right.
We went and had those Queen of Mons.
Yeah.
And we didn't enjoy it. We used to love those things. We would like make special trips. We'll get one.
Yeah.
And then now we're like, whatever.
Mary T said, I have friends who are clean vegan and they are super healthy. And I have a friend who is fries are vegan and she looks horrible and is almost bald. Right. Exactly. That's why, when I did try to be more of the clean vegan, but I can tell you towards the end, I did get sloppy and lazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think if you are doing that, again, I think most people, if they just avoid processed foods and seed oils, generally they're going to be healthy. Even if they're eating rice, beans, and meat every day, if they're not getting the bad seed oils and they're not eating all of the processed packaged foods, like they're not getting the packaged rice mix, you probably are going to be pretty healthy. Julie in the Brines, hey, welcome back. Said, you guys are awesome. This talk is so helpful for a lot of people.
Aww,
wow. We all could do this without medication. We can eat good food that heals our bodies. Yes, that is right. Well, thank you, Julie. Yeah, exactly. And that's been one of the best things is knowing that we don't have to be on medication anymore for our diabetes or even for my ulcerative colitis. In 5 years, I have not had an issue with my ulcerative colitis. Before keto, I was in the hospital 3-4 times a year. I had several colonoscopies a year. In fact, I had so many colonoscopies, I'm set for life.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons why this past year I've really been focused on gut health, because I have had such horrible gut issues my whole life. Like as a kid, I had horrible gut issues. And then having the ulcerative colitis, keto alone, I don't take anything for my ulcerative colitis. And I have not had an issue in 5 years.
Because you used to take Tums all the time too, right?
I would live on Tums and Pepto. Plus, I took whatever medication the doctor
prescribed.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't check is he wanted me to then go on Humira, and then I learned it was an injection, and I just didn't want to do that. And so I avoided the Humira, and then that was really not too, and so I just stopped everything there because I was like, I'm not feeling any better no matter what. And then, so I just stopped the medication. I was like, well, I don't take my insulin. Why should I take this stuff for the ulcerative colitis? It's not really helping. And then not too long after, we went keto, and I've never had an issue.
Well, again, Dr. Berry, like you said,
Yeah.
I just quit poisoning the dog.
Oh. And Terry said, as a critical care nurse for over 30 years, I'm quietly laughing at y'all's fear of giving yourself a shot, right? Yeah, like nothing for you. I know, us weenies over here, they're like, ooh. Brenda said, success! Fudge is awesome! Yay! I'm so happy, Brenda. That's awesome. I hope you share a picture. Shada said, nothing funny about being phobic of needles. It was very terrifying to me. Right. It is. And I don't know.
I can't even watch them take my blood with a needle. Or
that doesn't bother me,
does
though. Yeah, a lot of people that have to look away. I have to look for that because I'm not the one doing it, though. No. That's the difference. I'm not the one doing it.
I just don't like the sight of it, though.
Well, one time my mom had to get a steroid shot in her knee, and I was worse than she was, and she only started getting bad because she saw my face. My face hides so much, but it was because even when they take my blood, I tell a butterfly needle, which is a really thin, small needle. Terry knows. Well, for the steroid shot, it was just this thick needle, and it was so long, and it just like skeeved me out. I was just like, oh, like the whole time I was like, oh no, because it just bothered me.
Like it was awful for me whenever I had to have those injections done from the MS. Remember that time the guy came over? He came to visit the house 3 times for me, and that was rough. I couldn't handle it. I didn't like it. I handled it, but I just didn't like it.
22 Cat, there are reasons I'm not a nurse, and needles are one of them. Yeah. Nope, don't want to give or receive.
Right.
Oh, right. I mean, hands to y'all that are nurses, because really,
thank you.
Y'all are amazing to do that. But, yeah, that's hard. Mary T, exactly on the manufactured keto foods, same principle. That's how I feel. Oh, good night, Shauna. She said she's going. She said, no amount of teaching could help with that phobia in that time. That's true. Have a good one.
Is real.
But yeah, I feel the same way about it. And that's why you don't see us do a lot of keto product reviews. Because most of the time, the stuff that says keto, in my definition, is not keto. Right. If you're going to have seed oils in it or using maltodextrin stuff, to me, then it's not really keto. So I'm just like, well, I'm not going to eat. If I see something that's labeled keto and I look at the ingredients and I'm not going to eat it, why would I eat it to put out a video?
Right.
That's my thing. So I'm not going to force eat something I personally don't want to eat just so we can have content. That's just not me. So now what I might do is say, oh, that's a cool idea. How can we make it? Because they're that close, right? They're that close to making it keto. Let's do it keto and then do a video on that.
Yes.
Mary T said, if you have a healthy metabolism and healthy insulin production, a little rice now and then, okay. That said, this is a maintenance convo, in my opinion, for those who have gone years fixing metabolism. Right. And that's it. I mean, yeah, but I don't see, like me, if I wanted to have some rice and I've been consistently, which of course I am, but I don't, even though I'm not obviously healthy metabolism, I don't think it would throw me completely off having a serving of it in a year. Like if we went to China, I would probably have rice because we're in China, or Japan. I'd probably end up having some.
But if you wanted to work it in, the only other way I could do it and make it like accessible to me is if we start eating sushi again. But then that's me trying to find workarounds.
Right. Know? But I'm saying to me though, it wouldn't be an everyday occurrence.
Right.
It would just be a one-off. Like my coach said, a planned deviation. But again, that's after being consistent and meeting your goals for several weeks.
But but when I'm looking at those, we've done that or thought about doing it again. But there's nothing we missed that we really want anymore, though.
Right. Well, because, everybody has their thing.
Yeah, right.
Like mine, honestly, would be sourdough bread.
Yeah.
That I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Sourdough bread. Yeah. So that would be one that I would miss. But I think a lot of it, like when we're living our day to day, to me, it's very easy just to remain, in the day to day.
Yes.
But if we go on a trip and we're going somewhere new or different, sometimes it is hard. And sometimes I know that going in like, ooh, hey, we're going to go to San Francisco, we'll say like on a road trip.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really consistent, but in San Francisco, I'm going to get some sourdough bread. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because we've had this discussion before, because like with our road trip we have planned coming up. If you don't know, you can go read about it because we'll spend another 16 hours talking about that if we get onto that today. We were actually planning on taking a cruise through Virgin, and I was really honestly kind of scared of going off plan while on that cruise.
No.
I'm glad we're not doing that now.
Because they had some good looking food.
They really did, but it's all carbs.
Yeah, there's a lot of carbs and sweets, but I was like, oh my gosh, like everything on there looks so good. So yeah, but if we go to London, are you going to have fish and chips in London?
Yes and no. I probably will have the fish and chips, but I'm not going to do the mushy peas.
Oh, well, I didn't ask about the mushy peas. I said fish and chips.
I want to, but I don't know. I guess my thing is it's not intriguing to me.
Oh.
It's not something I look forward to.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know a lot of popular English. That's when I think England, that's what I think is fish and chips or Sunday roast.
All right.
Or what's the pudding thing?
Yorkshire pudding?
Yeah.
But I honestly don't even know what that is. I know the name, but I don't know what the actual ingredients or the preparation or anything.
It's like a bread.
Yeah. Like a bread pudding kind of like?
No, it's savory.
Yeah. Well, that stuff doesn't really grab me, though.
Oh.
I don't really go towards that kind of thing.
But if we went a day to Paris, France.
That'd be dangerous, honestly. Because I can see getting a lot of, like, breads and stuff like that. Like, the Danishes and stuff like that. Or, I
think a croissant.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, stuff like that. The breads. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would. I would in France. But again, that would be in France. But we went to Spain, and we didn't go off plan because what was advantage there in Spain is they do a lot of charcuteries.
Right.
So we would go to like their market, which was really cool. So instead of having like a grocery store, they would have daily markets. And we would go there and get to try all the different, like the Iberica ham and all those different hams and salamis and stuff and cheeses. Yes. So we didn't feel like we needed, like we wanted all of that good stuff.
But a lot of time, I remember.
No, we did go off because we had the churro.
And I did have, I remember there was one of the sandwiches. I ate the bread on that.
Oh, yeah. But it was a small, like, sample.
I know, but still.
But, yeah, you did. But other than that, and then we had the churro that one time.
Even after doing this for 5 years, I still miss pasta.
Oh. But we didn't have that. So that was the one we did go off and have when we were at one of the stops. We even did it when we were in, where did we leave out of?
Oh, I don't remember now.
Starts with a B. For Spain. Barcelona. Thank you. It wasn't in Barcelona. It was at one of the other stops. And there was this churro sign. And we were like, well, we are in Spain.
And you said, too, we are going to walk it off.
We have been walking a lot. So because that's what we did at each of the stops is, it's so easy to walk Europe. So we just walk around the town. and we were walking, I think 5-6 miles every day easily. And we stopped at one. We'd already had our lunch, and we stopped and we split an order of churros.
And it was a big order too, it seemed like.
It seemed, well, for us.
Yeah,
and
we're not used to that.
Right. And we enjoyed it. And then we were done. It didn't cause us to go like, oh, now I've got to have it all. No.
Churros
we
all
got,
the time.
Right. We enjoyed it, and it was, memorable at the time. And I would say it was even worth it because I was like, that was good. We had it in Spain. And then the next meal we were back to, because on the ship, we told them all of our stuff, and we just went back to doing what we were eating.
Right.
It was no big deal. Toy TQ Cat said, haven't you lost over 200 pounds now, Heath? You are healthier now. It has helped your MS.
Yes.
No weight loss drugs needed. There's your proof right there. Right. But I think what it is it's easier for the majority of people to have a pill or a shot.
Yes.
Versus learning nutrition.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing is we really don't teach nutrition. And it's kind of like everybody has to learn nutrition for themselves, or their doctor or a nurse tells them nutrition.
Right.
And we know, doctors and nurses also have limited nutrition information. So it's like it's kind of the blind leading the blind because there's not a lot of nutrition education. And so most people don't know, and they feel like, well, I'm doing what this person said or that person said, and I'm still having this issue. Well, I obviously need a pill or a shot.
Well, part of my problem too, I think, I guess I'm just naturally a skeptic. How do I know that doctor wasn't a straight C student? How do I know he was the one I need to be listening to,
Right, that's true.
I mean,
Mary T said, I won't even tell you about my mom's treatment for her macular degeneration. Oh, no. That sounds awful. Bye, Terry. We'll see you soon. Mary T said, you have spent years fixing your metabolism, though, and your body's now equipped to process some rice. I'm talking about beginner. Yeah, that is true. Like I always say this, if you're new to keto, try to stay as strict as possible to keto. I would prefer a year, but at least 6 months before you have a planned deviation. If your body needs time to adjust to being keto. And I feel like if you just start and then you go off plan and then you go off more, and then every week you're going off, your body never actually does the full conversion and never gets over those cravings.
I really feel like that cyclical keto stuff is actually detrimental to you.
Right. If you're
setting yourself up for problems.
Right. If you're new to keto, if you've never gotten over, you need to change, you need time for your taste buds to change, for your body to change and to fully adapt to it. Because I do feel like that is something that causes a lot of people who are new to keto or even half keto, I'm keto this week. Oh, I went off plan again. Oh, well, look, I made it 5 days on keto. Now I went off plan again. And then they're like, oh, just everything's been going on. I'll get back on keto. I'm like, well, that's the problem. If you've
on again, off again.
Right. If you're on again, off again, or if you're having an off time every week, you're never going to get your body off of those triggers, off of those cravings. That's even why my coach says only a planned deviation after 4 full weeks.
And it's not a whole day. It's a single meal.
Right. And even then, she's like, oh, you shouldn't just go off by buying a box of Twinkies. Like, you're just eating a little more than maybe you typically would, or maybe you're just not going to track that meal.
Of dessert at the restaurant.
Right. But, and again, that's after 4 weeks. But even then, that's because you have a coach that's helping you, and that'll keep it. If that's something you keep on, maybe that'll work. But I think for most people, if you don't have a coach, and you're just winging keto and you're starting keto, you really need to be focused and do the full keto for a good 6 months, preferably a year, before you decide to have a planned deviation. My opinion, because I think then you're not quite over that, and you're more apt to just go off the rails,
Right?
Or balls to the walls. Terry said, really enjoyed the convo today. Gotta go, but thank you all. Hope you all have a wonderful week. You too.
Yeah, it is almost 3:00.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. And we still got stuff to do around the house, too.
Well, it's your idea.
I know.
Mary T said, gotta try Yorkshire pudding, a staple every Sunday when I was growing up.
Oh,
My mom was a master, and fish and chips a must as well. What you're saying about now and then is bang on. Thank you. Brenda said, hubby, Bill said this morning he would like to go to Spain. Oh, we loved it. So we did a cruise, actually a transatlantic, but it started at Barcelona, and then we went all the way up to coast until we got to Portugal, Lisbon, Portugal, and then we went back, to Florida. But I enjoyed it. It's so easy to walk. Like, we didn't have any problems in Barcelona, and maybe because I have heat, or maybe I don't get afraid. Because even as a kid, like when I went to France, with the French group, I went and did my own things. So I never felt afraid in Barcelona.
Well, my part of it too is if the cruise line is going to that stop, they've already vetted the area. They already researched it, and they're not going to take you someplace. It's not advantageous to them as a company to take you somewhere dangerous. Right.
But I'm just saying, like, we went to Barcelona. We were there a few days before the cruise left, and we just walked all over that city, and we had a good time. I did not find it was too difficult to get around. There was a couple times you had a little bit of issues with your walking. But other than that, it was easy to get around. Again, I love the market. So in every stop that we had, I looked for a market. And it was just fun to go through to see, a lot of stuff we couldn't buy because, we can't buy groceries to take with us, right? But it was fun to see the different produce, the different fish, the different meats they had. It would also have people who would sell
prepared items,
prepared food, and that's when we would get like the Iberica ham. It was fun. Like in a couple of pictures, it's served in a cone, and you would just have the little strips kind of rolled up in the cone. It was like really cute.
I actually enjoyed that more than going out and finding a restaurant.
Right. We really had fun
like
doing
street
that.
Food or whatever.
Yeah, it really was. And then, we did do, because like when you had that sandwich, I found like all of these places, like different foods that Barcelona was
what they're known for.
And we tracked all these restaurants. And so one day we just walked around this whole city going and just getting that one little item and sharing it at those different little places. So not a full-on meal. And then we'd end up just walking grazing, some more. Basically. Yeah, we kind of grazed for the afternoon. But I mean, and it was a great way to see the city, walking around the city. And because we went from kind of the inner city all the way to the coast. Yeah. And we just really enjoyed doing that. It was a lot of fun.
Wish we had a channel then.
Right. And then the different places we stopped at,
great footage. We got to redo it just for that.
Yeah. And it was kind of a challenge because a few of the places where the ship had to park, and then us to get there, to get into the city was like a bit of a walk, like about a good half mile to a mile just to get there.
I feel like now would be even easier for us.
Right. Probably. But at we were still keto then, but yeah, it was kind of a challenge to us. Like, okay, let's do it. Let's see how many steps we'll get in today. And it's saving money too, because then we didn't have to pay for a taxi. We just, would walk it.
Well, I felt proud of ourselves too. The last time we went to New York, we walked all of Central Park.
I know.
And had no problems. That's why I'm saying on this next road trip, I want to go back to where we went to before to see the where Evel Knievel jumped
Oh, right.
Canyon. I wanna
Well,
do that.
I'll make this the last
Okay.
comment, y'all, and then we'll go so I can edit. And again, channel members, you'll be getting that invite by the end of today. So that means by midnight.
Yeah, we're gonna get busy.
Joy TQ Cat said, I heard it straight out of Kelly Osbourne's mouth, Ozzy's daughter. Why would I want to be on a diet and work out in a gym when I could just use Ozempic? Yeah, people prefer easy.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. And again, I feel like a lot of it is there's just not good nutrition. Well, there's just not any nutrition knowledge. And so people hear bits and pieces. Oh, I'm supposed to have this. Oh, I shouldn't be eating this.
Well, they say.
Yeah, well, they say this. Well, I'm just eating this. Well, and I have a lot of Facebook friends that do all sorts of stuff, right? I have some on Ozempic or whatever the other one is, and I have some that are doing Weight Watchers. And are they getting results? Yeah, like the one who's doing Weight Watchers, she's done really well on it. Everybody is different, but that's the thing is there's no clear, oh, this is what's healthy, because everybody has an agenda on what they think is healthy, right? Everybody has a different opinion, and that's what it is. It's a lot of opinions and no real education. Right. And until people are more educated, then they'll be like, oh, yeah, why would I do a pill when I understand the correct way to eat?
Right.
So anyways, but thank y'all so much. This has been so much fun. We love it. Rant. Yes, I hope I didn't bore you to tears there, but thank y'all. Have a good evening. Bye, everyone. Love you.